everybody. This is Mint, and we are here for the eighth episode of Gigi Habibi. I said we are here like I'm here to watch, like we're just observing somebody else do the podcast this time. That is untrue. I am joined today by Al, who thankfully managed to navigate the ruined streets of New York post Knicks win and come here to do the episode. So appreciate you for
Let's
that.
go. I'm not a Knicks fan. Sorry, everyone. You have to just realize I'm not a Knicks fan. I may have been born in New York, but that's not the way sports are given to you. Sometimes you have teams
It's vibes.
that you come across because of family members, but I'm good for them. Good for them personally, not so much its GM. But we maybe we'll talk about that. Who knows? But yeah, welcome. A lot of things happen because they tend to.
Yeah, every week. It's always because like last week, for anybody who doesn't know, we weren't able to record because my mom's sick, so I've been taking care of her, and I was like, well, maybe nothing will happen, but that was foolish of me because something happens every fucking week now. Not even, I mean, like, obviously outside of video games as an industry, but that's to be expected. But it feels like video games as an industry are also just like something crazy is happening every week.
Exploding every week.
Yeah, because like I don't feel like there was ever this much, like something huge happening this consistently. Yeah, I don't know, and like certainly, the 2 or 3 years into COVID, and definitely not like before that. What I can remember of pre-COVID. So
it didn't feel like back then. It didn't feel like I had to go. Oh damn! I missed that. What? When did I miss that? It was within like 5 days time of something.
Yeah,
It's
it's wild.
And we are the 0.1% of people who pay attention to this hobby that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like everybody's on the Titanic, but you're the only people that know that the iceberg is sinking because you're sitting at the front of the ship where like copies of Dragon's Dogma are, whereas everybody else is, at the back of the ship.
Preserve it.
Yeah,
Don't let it sink to the bottom yet.
Yeah. Anyways, but first we're going to talk about what we've been playing. You want to go first, or shall I?
You can go first. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I can go first because okay. There are basically, I'll say two things that I've played and have been playing. I played the demo for The Adventures of Elliot. What is the full name? The stupid fucking name of that guy. The Adventures of Elliot. The Millennium
Through Time
Tales.
or something.
Millennium Tales.
Okay, Millennium Tale. Dragon Tales.
Tales.
Stay with me, everyone.
Yeah, it's almost time for Dragon Tales. It was fine. This is a game by Team Asano. I played. It has a pretty sizable demo where like the save data carries over, which is nice. However, I have some smoke for Team Asano. I'm gonna keep it real. I personally not that impressed by their output. I don't think Octopath Traveler is very good, or I should say they don't really do anything interesting, and they're way too long. The only thing that I like about them are the soundtracks. But I figured, The Adventures of Elliot is a JRPG. It's not like turn-based. It's doing the, Secret of Mana type thing. Maybe this will be a nice change of pace. And it is, in a way, but it still has the primary issue I have with Asano's stuff, which is the driest dialogue that it just completely flavorless.
Yes,
it's the most boring shit. I believe I saw GameStop. They don't do reviews. Game GameSpot,
And spot, yeah.
their tagline for this game for the review was "The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales makes a strong argument for silent protagonists," which is fucking hilarious,
Ooh.
but also true because it's just so dry. It's just like, oh, you must go to back in time to save the world or whatever. And Elliot just says, first of all, he doesn't seem impacted by that at all. He's just like, you got it, boss. So that's the first thing. But then on top of
Yes,
that,
he does. He does. When I
yeah,
played the demo when they first revealed it,
yeah,
and
he-
he does kind of just go, "Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
There's not.
That's of course I'll do it." He's my customer service and time traveler or whatever.
Yes, he's literally his whole personality is just like that's what adventurers do. So he has no feeling about anything, which I mean, I guess that could work, but that's already challenging. But then on top of that, you just have this incredibly dry delivery. The voice acting is fine, but the writing is just so bare bones, which is not good for given how much of it there is at any given moment. And the other thing that every Team Asano game has that drives me insane is this Final Fantasy 14 pacing to its cutscenes, where like there'll
Hmm.
be a slow pan to an
Oh,
object
I
across the
see.
screen, and then a slow pan back, 2 seconds to stop for a sprite to do an animation, and then the text box appears. And I sound like I'm nitpicking, but these things add up for a game that is going to be allegedly pretty long. Although I've seen some people say you can finish
So,
that
so
game in
yeah,
like 10 hours,
some
which is
people said
crazy.
10 hours. I was like,
Yeah.
10 hours for Team Asano.
Yeah. Yeah. That
What?
seems not right, but we'll see. Um,
Okay.
not convincing enough for me to want to buy the game. I will get the soundtrack as I do with every Team Asano soundtrack because the music is extremely good. Um,
Music was
yeah.
good, yeah.
Did you have opinions on the demo besides the what we just mentioned?
I did like what I played, but I also found the impetus for me to go on this journey flimsy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did find it flimsy. I did. It was so. I did like. I liked it enough that I was like, yeah, okay, this will tide me over until what's it called? By Crosscode developer comes.
Yes. Yeah. We're basically
This is
just you're a queue game, which makes me feel bad. But some games are just like these are games to keep me in line until the game that I actually want to come out comes out.
yes. This is when I was thinking. I was like, damn, I really want to play that game, but it's only early access. So you
You'll
say you're
have to do.
finished. You'll have to do here. But yeah, like it's very dry. I honestly like it shouldn't be this way, but the
No.
thing I was thinking was I this is I put on the podcast while I go do the dungeons in this one,
Mm.
is what I was thinking, which is unfortunate. But I I when I played Octopath Traveler 1, this was here. This was here a little bit too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
so,
yeah.
this was here. There's like more to do there, but because as everyone knows, if you don't know, in Octopath Traveler 1, which is sort of the first go round, first successful go round by the studio, like those stories do not converge in a way where they interact.
No,
Those stories happen, and those characters come together, but those they don't talk to each other,
no, no.
which
Just
is one of the
in
more
combat.
divisive points about that game.
Yeah,
And that felt that everyone that felt had a lot of people feeling drier on that than you know. I thought it was new to me, so I was like, oh, okay, well that's something.
hmm
But I think as time has gone on, especially with the Octopath Traveler 2, I didn't beat that one. But it's clear that approach they are shying away from that approach. Also, according to Zero, as well. Uh, like they have to fix maybe like this is a writing problem. I think you could
yeah,
do that thing. This it's clear by now that this is like a you need some other cooks in the writing room.
Yeah, yeah.
possibly.
They're not a narrative based company, which is fine. But if you're going to be like that, then you need to not have so
It
much of
needs
it.
to be.
Don't have
It
so much of it.
either not so much of it, or like it needs to be crazy good.
Yeah,
It needs to be wildly
yeah,
good.
yeah.
You know.
You just mentioned the like I kind of touched on. Yeah, he's just like, all right, boss, I'm gonna go back in time. And you know, anytime a game has time travel, particularly if it's a JRPG or JRPG adjacent, you're always going to get compared to one of the greatest games of all time. And when you put those two, when you put it next to Chrono Trigger, it makes it even more stark because Chrono Trigger not only has significantly less yapping while getting the point across very quickly, it also has like a immediate reason for Chrono to want to go back in time because the baddie that he met like 10 minutes ago just got thrown into a portal. Granted,
We gotta save that baddie.
he did meet her 10 years ago, but I've done dumber for a hot woman, so you know I get it.
I get it. I get it. I like. It's a little. It might be. You might, listener. You might think it's a little unfair, but also what I would say is that the Adventures of Elliot has like the added crutch. I'll say it's a crutch at this point. The added crutch of voice acting
Yeah,
and and movement and the ability to like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. We have better pipelines to do this sprite and this sprite or whatever.
yeah,
Like there are more like sort of things to fall back on here, and it's still not measuring up in a sort of dressing presentation wise for
no.
what
Sometimes less is more. I mean, I've dabbled in making some games, and the only time I ever finish anything is when I do them in GB Studio, which is like a creator, but you can only it's only for games that are possible to create on the Game Boy. And the reason why I'm able to finish those is because there's so much in the way of like limitation that you have to be very choosy about what you end up doing. If you
mm,
have a buffet table, sometimes you just don't eat anything or you eat a little bit of everything and you end up not feeling very satisfied. And I think that's game development sometimes. So,
yeah.
other game.
Hopefully,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
hopefully it's hopefully it's better. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's better than what I think, but
yeah. They need to do something. I will say at least the yapping and triangle strategy it was good. I don't know who wrote that, but they should let them do the writing for everything else. It was still too much yapping, but at least the plot came together in an interesting way by the end.
okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
That's good to hear,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. It's no fun. That's the other problem. They keep making these games in genres that make it inherently compared to like the greats because it's like you can't make your game look so much like Final Fantasy Tactics and unless you have the writing to back it up, which it doesn't. But it tries harder than it did in than Team Asana did for any other stuff. So,
Okay.
uh, but yeah, the other the only other thing that I've been playing literally, uh, it's actually I have to think about whether I want to reveal how much I've played this game in the past couple of
Oh,
weeks. But it is Warframe. Um, uh,
it sure is.
yeah, so to give a little bit of context, I actually played Warframe the day it came out. It was my roommate and I had it because we were just looking for free to play games that we could play online because we were broke college students, which is kind of a funny parallel to when I was 8 and doing the same thing with Korean MMOs because I was a broke 8 year old. But anyways, we got it. We played. We did a couple. We played it for like a week or two, and we were just like, this shit kind of ass. And then I didn't touch it for like another half decade. And then I heard Pat, resident red-headed gremlin, talking about how sick the latest expansion was and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, they cooked. Let me go back. And it was impossible. It was impossible. It was so obtuse. There was so much in terms of like not even like not complexity, but like density of blueprints and crafting, and not really understanding where I'm supposed to start and stuff like that. And people would just be
Mm.
like, "Oh, just fill the star chart," which are like the individual missions on each planet. But that is boring and not interesting at all. So, anyways, another half decade passes. We're now at the 10-year
oh,
mark.
so you dropped off the star chart, I see.
Yeah. I didn't get much further. But then Warframe 1999, the expansion, gets like revealed at the Game Awards, and it did
Yes.
exactly what it was meant to do, which was show me a bunch of hot people doing like Warframe shit, and me being like, oh, what are all these hot people doing in Warframe? I got to find out. Fell off again, but then I got laid off, and I have so much free time in between job applications and recording this podcast that I finally figured it out. Granted, I had L to show me
Little
what
bit
to
of help
do.
there.
Yes, yeah. But I will also say they changed their onboarding a lot. It's significantly more clear where to go and what to do because they like give you the quest in chronological order. You don't have to finish the star chart to like begin to understand the story. Don't get me wrong. This still took me 20 hours before I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But I was able
Oh,
to do that because I was forged in the fires of Final Fantasy XIV's mediocrity, which exists through the entirety of base game and up until Heaven's Word, which is, I would say, 20 to 30 hours of gameplay as well. And this is more fun than that, moment to moment. Um, but once got all that figured out, I'm not gonna. This isn't 2 hours or 2 weeks worth. I will just say that I've put 131 hours into this game. I'll leave you to figure out how quickly I filled that time out. But
you can reply with the spreadsheet if you'd like.
but yeah, it's basically taken over my life. It reminds me a lot of Fantasy Star online in its like mission structure and stuff. And yeah, it's
Mm.
just fun to make my hot gay little warframes and like craft them
Do
and
you
do
feel
stuff.
you're chasing Fantasy Star? Do you feel
Oh
you're
yeah, I'm always
chasing
chasing.
that?
I've been chasing Fantasy Star since 2004. Uh, this is the closest I think I've ever hit. Ironic because Fantasy Star Online 2 did not do it, and New Genesis definitely didn't. I guess technically, Portable 2 Infinite, which I've talked about on the podcast,
Mm.
got me there, but it didn't. I never played it in multiplayer because it's a pain in the ass on the PSP emulator. Warframe,
Yeah.
it's got a pretty active player base. So, yeah, I am continuing to chase Warframe, or sorry, chase Fantasy Star. This isn't even the Warframe isn't a full win because the thing that I miss the most about goddamn Fantasy Star online is the Y2K aesthetic. So
Yeah, it's not. It's, hey,
someone make that.
1999 sort of, it got you
It's
close. It got
close.
you
Yeah,
close. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
close. Yeah.
I'm this close. I like when you say like there's enough people there. It is funny though to hear you to hear L go something like, "Oh my God, I hate this. I hate the way they're playing this." It's
Yeah.
like because I don't Warframe. No matter the present the presentation, the lore presentation I got did not reveal to me the secrets of what I was really looking at whenever I see one
Yeah.
of you play this.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
level
like
one. I'm like,
JoJo.
I don't even know what's bad. I don't even know what the bad play is. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. It's like JoJo in the way that I could tell you anything about that game right now, and it wouldn't be a spoiler because, like without context, it makes no sense. And it's the same thing mechanically because there isn't like a straight just like you level up to level 10 or you get a particular piece of gear and you are now stronger. There are no stat sticks. It's all um, it's math. It's equations. It's literally like, how do I get my shotgun shells to do like multiplicative damage so that each individual shell spreads across other targets, and then because it's toxin and I'm using a poison Warframe, there's another, multiplication of that
Oh.
damage, and then that's divided across all the enemies that got hit by the attack, and so on and so forth. Which is a weird shift in thinking for me, because I just like making the most broken build possible. But yeah, it's entertaining because kind of like Guild Wars 2, there's a flat um, like level of play, so you can kind of just pick whatever and build it, and don't really have to worry about like not being strong enough because
Mhm.
there's usually an option. So game
I
fun.
guess is that opposed to Soul Frames? Soul Frame is like getting away into something, yeah. Because the designer of Warframe went on and they're doing Soul Frame now, right?
Yeah,
Instead here.
Soulframe has no idea what it wants to be currently.
I see.
They just did another prelude, which are like the big patches. And for anybody who doesn't know, the designer for Warframe, who did move on to Soulframe, he is notorious for not knowing what he wants, taking forever to build things, and constantly dropping old features for new ones. Last I checked, Prelude 15 for Soulframe turned it into like Diablo, and people do not
Oh,
seem to be liking it. So it'll probably change again
really?
soon.
That did
Yeah,
not look like Diablo when I
it
saw it
wasn't. It
like
wasn't
6 months
2 weeks ago.
ago.
It wasn't until 2 weeks ago. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Okay, that's not how I expected loot was dropped. That's not what I saw from there. That's not what I saw loot dropping. Like when I saw them go like after you fight the deer thing or whatever, and you convince this vaguely Eastern European lady that everything's okay, and she can. I'm not very unclear on what's happening. I'm not sure. You go to that like little like underground thing, and then all the people are there. Like, oh
They
shit,
just
this is
show
where the
up.
people are.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just show
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and then it's like, oh okay, I guess you can like sort of choose to do like this is where it like kind of opens up, and but I didn't get a Diablo feel from that. It was just that you would just kind of like roam around and
Yeah,
and you kind of like get the guys, and then like your eagle's like, yeah bro, it's like over here I guess.
yeah. Now, currently, there are RNG rolled stats with like for weapons, which is very Diablo, and people are not
Oh.
happy. That's actually the exact opposite of how Warframe works. There aren't really RNG weapons outside of like percentages of status effect damage for Kuva weapons, but even those you can like trade with other players to get the one that you want. They're not. They're not. The people who are playing are not liking that. Um, so we'll see how that goes. It'll probably turn into a dating sim in Prelude 16, and then he'll probably make it like what is it? The Rock and Stone co-op game. Um,
Oh, Deep Rock
yeah,
Galactic.
yeah,
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 he's gonna
yeah,
make it Deep Rock.
yeah, yeah. Because I think his name's Steve. He has no idea what he wants, and it's to the point. It really feels like they shelved him off to Soulframe as like his design retirement home because he was just like fucking up the Warframe
Just
deck
this
too much, and he knew. He
crazy
knows.
game design retirement
Yeah, yeah,
home.
but he knows. He knew.
Crazy.
He knew. He was like, I'm holding it back because I want things. I want things to, and they take too long. There's a system called the Railjack, which got added to Warframe. It's like a co-op thing where you're like on a ship and you're all
Mm.
manning like different turrets that somebody's piloting, and you would like board other
Oh.
ships and blah blah blah. And I don't remember how it took a very long time. I wasn't playing at the time, but it took a very long time to come out. It had nothing to do with Warframe's like flow or like game loop at the time. It came out extremely buggy despite taking forever to come out. And I
Yeah.
think that's when people were like, what's going on here? So, yeah.
I okay. Well, Godspeed in the game design retirement home. Hopefully they've got good pizza, I guess there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, is
that's
that
pretty
all
much
you
all I
play?
got. Yeah, dead ass. That's all I play. And part of it, it's definitely some depression gaming, for sure. I
Sure.
mean, all gaming is depression gaming at a certain
Whoa,
point, at least for
that's
me.
not true. That's
Uh,
not true.
but yeah, I've not felt the urge to. There's been a bit of a drought, I will say, and I don't really feel like playing anything in my backlog. So, Warframe Deadass might carry me through September. I'm sure as fuck I'm not about to play the new Star Fox, so I'm set for a while.
I mean, see, you see, you're already reading the other books, right? But I'm
Oh
here, I'm enjoying myself. I'm like, look, there's so much ahead of me right
yeah,
now for me.
yeah, you're normal. Yes, yeah. I actually have. I've literally been. I told my therapist, I was like, I need to learn how to be like present more, because my brain is just on fire constantly. I'm literally doing something, and I'm like, I could be doing something else right now. So, yes, you nailed it in one. Um, but yeah, that's pretty. That's dead. That's all I've been playing. It might be what all I'm playing next week. Oh, actually, I might be able to talk about Mina the Hollower next week because I do actually plan to dig into that.
Yeah, I think well, I don't know. I don't know if I'll finish it. I don't know if I'll
Oh,
finish it either. I'm not gonna talk about Mina yet either,
okay.
because I haven't. I mean, I have enough hours to talk about it, but we have more
Yeah,
here also.
we'll compare and
Um,
contrast.
yeah, we'll compare later. I think on because Mina is it's gonna sound different from a lot of people. It's this type of game
Yeah,
possibly.
it's not a Souls like, but it carries the spirit of Souls like discourse. I'll say that.
The discourse certainly, but it's Castlevania. It's like well, Dark Souls is just carrying on Castlevania
Yeah, yeah,
for what it's
exactly.
worth.
All
You
roads
know.
lead to to my boy Dracula.
Oh, my boy Dracula, he's coming back. So yeah, I played something in a similar macabre setting.
Yeah.
I'm playing a game called Solstice. Now, if many of you might not know what this is, that's Soulstice. Solstice is a Devil May Cry like,
By an indie
and
studio, right?
by an indie studio indeed.
Yeah.
And many don't try. I would say that many don't try the Devil May Cry like, as
No.
opposed to some of the other character action types.
Yeah.
This is by Reply Game Studios. This was released in 2022. I don't think they've released anything since, to my
No. I thought
memory.
that game came out in like 2019. My sense of time is so fucked, bro.
Everything is farther away, and everything's closer
At
than
the
it
same
appears in the
time.
mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Solstice. Okay, does everyone within the range of the sound of my voice like Berserk?
I would assume, right?
Um,
I don't know anybody who
if you
doesn't like
like
Berserk.
Berserk, if you missed it, if you missed it so much that you'd want something trying to capture the energy, I would say unsuccessfully. This is here for you. Solstice, like, so I have a feeling I'm starting to know why people don't tackle the Devil May Cry style that much.
Hmm.
Is because I think it's harder to do, possibly, um, with the heavier sort of combat. So I have to get into the weeds of Solstice in order to explain why I have been having more issues with it. This is a very niche genre that you have to talk about more niche
Hmm.
when you explain it. So like in the game, like like she controls the titular character. Briar is her name.
Yeah.
Controls like you kind of would expect. Like she feels like if I were to pick a DMC game, I'd say she controls a little slower than DMC3 Dante,
Uh-huh.
right? And one of the things I noticed, and the problem really only rears its head like I guess midway through the game, or when I start noticing they're not going to give me a weapon that or a move that repositions enemies, are they?
Mhm.
And this is a problem because if you remember, like DMC 4, let's say Nero gets his grab, right?
Yeah.
And with Nero with his grab gets to haul enemies towards you and move them around so that he can sort of do what you can do, sort of do what you want, and need to sort of group up so you can like get a bunch of enemies in the air for something, right? Let's say she doesn't like as far like I have all the weapons at this point. I haven't finished the game. I'm pretty sure I'm like 3 levels away from finishing it.
Mhm.
But she does not get a weapon that does this. It's that you have your stinger. Every weapon has a stinger. Every weapon has a high time. Every weapon has a sort of helm splitter. But so they're all like it's more segmented. It's a little less varied than you would get in a DMC, right? As well, they're not exactly incredibly distinct except for maybe what they do to enemies. They all have their respective upgrades there, right? They all have like, oh, they have a proficiency 1, 2, and 3, and you upgrade that so it does more damage to enemies. I can tell you that if you have gauged anything about us, this is a less interesting thing here. This is kind of just artificially stacking, making me get the red orbs. Also, it's red orbs. It's really just red orbs. They
That's
call it
fine.
residue here,
That's
but it
fine.
is just the red orbs from DMC. Um, but this is a less interesting way to go about it than just giving me new moves. They give you new moves, but having the proficiency there as well, it's just artificially increasing the time I have to replay a level again in order to do enough damage to enemies. Which in a character action game, I gotta be honest, I don't want to be grinding a level because I don't want to S rank it. I want to be grinding a level because I think it's fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, the reason the repositioning enemies thing is a problem is that it presents a sort of a challenge in the way of a portal you jump into, a la something like any of the Devil May Cry games presenting you those extra challenges, right?
Yeah.
One of them is a circle, and the circle asks you the challenge asks you, okay, you have to kill the enemy in the circle. Sounds pretty simple.
Uh-huh.
Not exactly.
Okay.
The problem is compounded. I'm going to link you. There's an entire YouTube video dedicated to beating this. Now,
Oh.
I don't need to tell you that this game is pretty niche. That
Yeah.
niche enough that answers to my questions are sometimes just not found,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But there was enough ire for this challenge that it is here. Someone said, "Okay, someone needs to know how to beat this."
Hmm.
And this was like I don't remember a DMC challenge that gave me this much like anger in me in me, to
Yikes.
be quite honest.
That's not good.
Um the if you looking at the video there, I'll try and paint a picture. The circle's like moderately huge if you look at it.
Yes.
It's like outlined in black, but the enemies that the enemies that they seem to have purposefully like sort of re-engineered the enemy AI to just like just kind of like it's remember in like later Souls games how eventually they realized that everyone just backstabs all the enemies. They're like, okay, we got to get them to stop doing that. They're
Yeah.
gonna start hitting behind them, or they're gonna circle around you,
Yeah.
right? This is what the enemies are doing constantly, and because you don't really have a good repositioning like move like that doesn't do damage, right? I want to stress something that I haven't. I'm trying the cherry on top here. There is a ghost girl, which is your dead sister, um,
Sure.
named Loot. Loot attacks things for you. Now, DMC doesn't do this. And this is a problem for a very specific reason. It's that
Does she push them out of the
enemies will.
circle?
One, yes.
Oh my
And
god.
two, she will kill enemies when you don't want them dead.
Uh,
Because she's going to do automatic damage
right. And they
no
need to die
matter
in the
what.
circle.
Yes. There's
Gotcha.
no And there's no like, unless by this point in the game, you've probably already upgraded her ability that shoots these more of these blasted enemies. There's no like, I turn off the ability. You can reset the tree, but there's no you turn off the individual ability. You can
Yeah.
like it's saying that the upgrade is like a tacit like a flat beneficial increase to you. But no, but to me, I'm looking at this thing like why the fuck would you want me to do this like this challenge when you know she's gonna blast enemies out this circle and or kill them outside of the circle? This is insane.
Yeah.
Like why would you do it this way? And I didn't know yet, but this became more of an annoyance as the game goes on because it feels like I think it'll probably be fine if you like have her completely upgraded and she's like decimating enemies and you're not just in the middle of a combo hitting nothing,
Yeah.
right? But now in like sort of the midway to late, like it's like annoying to not be able to plan because like she's also shooting enemies off screen. You're pressing like quick time events essentially that you use to sort of deflect, uh counter and or stop enemies from doing moves off screen as well. It's like a prompt. It's like imagine if the God of War, like God of War Ragnarok in 2018, there's like there's like a circle in your general area that it's like, hey, there's an enemy is about to like front up on you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Indicator.
that, and then but you're pressing a prompt to keep that from happening, right?
Uh,
And this is like, I don't know that this is the way. I appreciate the try. I don't know that this is the way. I think you can probably do a buddy. Um, like it reminded me of like the growing pains I had playing V in DMC5 because V is probably one of the most novel additions in character action we've had besides Astro Chain's attempt,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't think this one works. I think you have to control her manually somehow. It can't be automatic like this.
Yeah.
I
Or
think it's
turn
weird.
off. They let you turn
Yeah, or turn
off
her off.
pretty much like a lot of input moves in the Neo series. So you could probably do something like that.
Mm. Yeah, actually, yeah. And so like, yeah, it really is. It's like it's it sucks. It sucks because like there are other parts. I'm like, oh, the last weapon is cool. It's like a weird old timey like cannon blades or something.
Mhm.
But uh, my next point is that the game. Now you've looked at the game. The game is like it's at first I was like, oh wow, the environments are pretty nice. And then like the environment is like the same color palette for like the entirety
It's a very blue
of the
game, last I
duration.
checked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very. I'd say very pale, a pale gray to bluish
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
It's the same color palette, which I would forgive, I guess. Like, I can't convey to the degree at which it wants to be Berserk. Like, if you look at Loot, she is obviously what's her name, the witch from Berserk
Yeah.
when Guts goes into full armor mode, as it were, right?
Mhm.
Like that is her, and they have the same problem. In turn, like they have the same like issues of, oh, this thing is gonna take over me sort of thing if I keep using it, right? I gotta be honest. Yeah, the reason FromSoft can do this is because they do pull off the vibes and they don't try and like do a direct analog in like a sort of like an overarching centerpiece
Oh,
way. Like our
you mean specifically the Berserk influence and everything.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant the environmental design, but you mean like because every FromSoft game is just a Berserk
Yeah,
game in disguise. It's true.
it's a Berserk game in disguise, but they're not doing like very like they're doing direct ones, but it's not usually the main story, as it
Yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah.
Like right, like, it's
More
like a side
homage.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Artorias is probably one of the more important characters that is the Berserk reference
Yeah.
right, in the entirety of Dark Souls,
Yeah.
but he is contained in sort of in a sort of way, right?
Yeah.
But Lute, Briar and Lute are like the main characters of this story, and they are constantly you're wearing the influence on your sleeve, and but to the extent that like it is the same sort of like issue battle going on within yourself,
Mhm.
and if you want me to compare you to Berserk, you're not gonna come out on top, is what I would say. In terms of
Shockingly.
what kind of yeah, shockingly,
Shockingly.
you're not gonna come out on top, and like it's just not. The writing isn't there. The writing isn't, and that's par for the core in character action games.
Mhm.
So that's to be expected. But because you're comparing yourself so heavily, I find whenever you're doing the dialogue, I'm like, yeah, man, I think I don't care that much, unfortunately. Which sucks. There are cool things about like to envision here. I think they have something in terms of like, oh, um it would be cool if Guts did that as a devil trigger, wouldn't it? That would be cool. It is a little cool. So like the way she transforms here is that she has like a third transformation. This is another nitpick. It's too long. The transformation is too long. You have to skip it. Either either have the first one be the really long one and then do some sort of shorter, like animate some sort of shorter one or something and have that be the default. It feels weird to have to skip the transition every time, I think, when she goes into her double trigger. But it is cool to turn into this form. The way it works is that there's a first level where you turn into this thing and you are ultra powerful and mow down enemies and it heals you, right? And then there's a third one that happens sometimes. It's like half staged and half random, it seems.
Mhm.
It'll happen at certain points in the story, and also it'll happen randomly, where she'll go into the whole berserk transformation, like the full on, like on all fours gut style, right? And you have to like sort of move the control stick in order to keep her in check. Like you can't really even control her. You're just kind of like doing this weird like
Oh, they
sort
did
of
the
quick time
Heartless
event.
Sora Kingdom Hearts shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's
Don't do
this, and
that.
I'm like, I get the vision, but I feel like there's a better way. you
Well,
know,
you're
I,
not gonna find out because I double checked and Solstice 2 was canceled. So
oh, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, in the studio now they just post weird questions on Twitter like, "What's your favorite game?" and all this shit. They did not address the closing or the cancellation of the game at all. I don't know if they're doing anything right now, but
It does. Well, there's nothing on that
yeah,
as far as I know. There's nothing announced
yeah,
for them.
yeah.
This
So
this is the transformation. If you'd like to look at it,
but
while I'm finishing up here on
sure.
that, but like it's like it's very long, and like the third one doesn't really add anything gameplay wise. Is that it's cool, but the game is playing itself at that point. Um, is that cool? Eh, like effectively mechanically, no, not really. Like
30
if like you
seconds? It's 30 seconds? Why? Can you skip it?
Yeah, you can skip it,
Oh,
but it's
thank
weird that I
God.
have to skip a transformation every time.
This,
Usually games just go, okay, we're gonna make the transformation this long because you're gonna keep seeing, right?
yeah. Okay. Oh my, it's like 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. It's it's quite a thing. Um, you know, it's cool in concept. I just think it was executed not incredibly. I think it's a character action game. You want to be. I feel like I want to be doing something in that mode. You know, to be quite
I
honest.
tend to like to do things when I'm playing a character action game, so yes, I would agree with you there.
But like I appreciate. It's one of the few that have tried
Yeah,
the DMC method. I appreciate it.
yeah,
I think I'm gonna come away, less than enthused at the end of the game here. But I can appreciate its effort here because, there are a bunch of things that are cool about, like, oh, like I'm using these sort of little knives here, and it's like the game, like, this is kind of this is also another problem. It really, like, wasn't that fun until I got the third weapon.
yikes,
Like, not incredibly fun until I got the third.
yikes,
Yeah, it's and because
yikes.
like you move not that slow, not that fast, right? And like, uh, the you don't have the ability to reposition enemies that much, and like you have stingers on the different weapons, but like, it's more homogenized, as you would say, right?
Sure.
Um, it's a little bit of a thing, and I could go on for longer because I could talk about the Unity system, which is their a sort of gauge system. It's how so in here they're using the gauge not only to the sort of style gauge to gauge how well you're doing, but also the gauge is how you get into the devil trigger. If you do well enough, then it will give you that. But in a weird way, like, it's rewarding you for it's rewarding you with playing less, I suppose, if you get the reckless mode.
Cool.
Um,
Love that in my
which
character
is,
action game.
I guess, it's a choice. In a sort of a broad sense, but yeah, I don't know if I agree with it that much. But I'm gonna finish it. Of course, I tend to try and finish all these, but yeah, I appreciate his attempt, but I don't think it nails it exactly, unfortunately.
Bet. I was gonna say it sounds like you're being a little too charitable, but I guess compared to Lost Soul aside, um,
I played some
anything's
schlock,
possible.
so I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know, I don't even have to I we don't there's no reason for us to talk about Lost Soul. If for some reason
That would need its own
a
episode.
reason present itself,
Yeah,
I don't know why it would,
when the
but
sequel comes
if
out, bro.
don't that's no there's no shot. There's no shot. But if for some reason it presented itself, yeah, it would be long enough for something like that to describe why that game is the story, the development behind that game, what happened in a very Hello Games esque way of marketing, and what the result was born there, because it just there's recorded evidence there of the results. And maybe if for some reason we have to talk about that game, we'll post the result,
Yeah,
the recorded results of that.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's that. I also played and beat Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem rather. You saw the game. You saw the whole game, basically,
Yeah, I
right?
did not play it, but I watched multiple
Yeah.
people play it. Yes.
Yeah. So you might know more about you might know more than me at that point if you saw the whole thing twice over. But yeah, this is the next. I don't. It probably needs no introduction that this is Capcom's latest Resident Evil venture here. Um, this is Leon's sort of the end of the Leon's remake trilogy in a way,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, buddy.
Because they did RE2 remake and RE4 remake to sort of like cap Leon here, as it were. Um, so I'm pretty high on this game. I'm pretty high on this game.
Oh, good.
I think Grace is amiable. It makes sense at the end why she. I was like, why are you an FBI agent for so much of the game?
Yeah.
But it makes sense in the end. And I think Grace's sections. I think on a first playthrough. So there's like an issue. This is not a problem with the game itself, really. But I played this. I played this on standard classic, and that this is the mode where you have the ink ribbons instead, and the autosaves do not come as easily. Really, it's only ever after every segment, as it were, or end of segment, or switch to a character. Um, and with the way my work schedule is going on, inked ribbon mode is very hard. It requires like that you play the game for long periods, and I did not really have that at my disposal. I probably would have beaten the game weeks earlier, to be honest, because every time I would get into Leon's section, I would play it, and it would be pretty brisk.
Mhm.
And then I get to Grace's sections, and I go, it's slow to a crawl, and then I go, well, I have to go to bed, but that means I have to use an ink ribbon, and that, you know,
I'm too
so,
old for
funnily
that.
enough, I didn't think of this, but I guess the ink ribbon section was fine for when I was a kid and I had a bunch of time, and or when I was in college, but nowadays, or even a year ago when I had a job that didn't last so long in the day. But now I'm like, the ink ribbon mode is kind of hard for me.
Yeah. Uh,
um,
that isn't that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm genuinely too old for that shit, and I'm again unemployed right now. So, um, and even that would be too much, for me personally. I'm good. I'm good, but
yeah,
I get it.
I, yeah. I think it was the right decision though to play it in ink ribbon mode first.
Okay.
One, because I got the CP points out of it, the sort of credit points it gives you there to sort of buy things in the post game. We'll talk about that shortly, and maybe the problems with that. But I'm glad I played it in that mode first because I really don't see much of a point to play it after that. I
Yeah.
don't really see much of a point to play in Cribbin mode more than once. I proved I could do it. There's not much point in me doing it again. Really, it doesn't add. It's like it's kind of like an artificial like difficulty thing here, really, because it, to be honest, like because of Leon's sections, it's not. It's only half and or arguably, I suppose, you know, 45% of the game. So it it's not as impactful as it was in like in say an RE2 remake if it were there,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
It's just not as impactful, so it kind of loses its importance, I suppose.
Mhm.
And is so what I would say is like gray sections, like they're good on like a first playthrough. I would say that I was not incredibly enamored when I attempted to play through it again. Um, and that's why the challenges are there. But the funny thing, so the way that the thing that happens here in its end game that is different from RE4 remake, and I compare it because it's actually as close as analog as RE4 remake. And I think I put more hours into RE4 remake. Um, after I beat it, I put more hours into it. One, because it had mercenaries mode. But two, it's probably a more cohesive sort of thing. I understand what Capcom sort of tried to do. I think it works on a first playthrough because of the breaks. But when you're trying to get to the juice, as it were, um, I think Grace's sections rehearsed in a sort of AGDQ way can be satisfying, possibly. But for me, I would rather just get to Leon's sections. I think Leon's sections being used as sort of a respite from Grace's tension, um, sort of made us another causes another effect on replay where I go, I kind of just want to get to Leon's sections already.
So
Um,
you hate women? That's what you're saying. So you hate women? That's what you're saying. That's a lot of words to just say you hate women, Al.
I don't hate woman. I wanted Claire. I wanted Claire
You
back.
said
I'm
I
like,
wanted a
where's Claire? Where's
specific
Claire?
woman.
I want to give me my woman, not
Right,
this
right.
woman.
Yeah, yeah. I get
But
what
yeah,
you mean
yeah,
now.
yeah. I find myself that and so much so, but this is sort of compounded by the credit system. So at the end of at the end of the playthrough, you get a bunch of points for doing different things in the playthrough. And they have very specific stuff like beat the whole game without using a red herb or a green herb or first aid, or beat the whole game without using the blood collector, which is Grace's sort of I guess a crafting collection sort of tool where she collects blood from enemies and or buckets throughout the levels, and then uses that resource so you can make bullets and or herbs and or sort of other things, right? As well, resources. And there's one for that too. There's one for a bunch of different things. There's one for I don't know if you know about this, the completing the very secret puzzle.
Uh, that
Do you
no.
not know about the puzzle?
What is the very secret puzzle? Is it the?
Uh,
No, never mind. Go ahead. I definitely don't know.
yeah, the puzzle is I would say PT esque in how much you have to execute here. More so, most likely, the puzzle requires different steps throughout the game.
Oh, I
Like
see.
not just a specific place in the game. It requires you doing a bunch of things throughout the game.
Sure.
And then culminating in a certain room in the game. I saw a playthrough of what you do. You get 20,000 points, I think, or 30,000, I believe, for it. I was like, nah, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. To be unfortunately, like you want to play, it creates a sort of weird tension. You want to replay the game, but then the things you want to replay the game with, like the infinite ammo or something like that, or insanity mode. I should say that the reason for you to replay the game is so that you grind out the game in order to get a bunch of additions and weapons so that you can complete insanity mode. And insanity mode changes the enemy sort of makeup. Sort of their patterns and how tough they are and where they're coming from, sort of thing, right? So it's like a Dead Space 2 remake or an RE1 original, like changing up sort of what's going on there, a remake, right? But it's so hard. It's so hard that it's nigh impossible for you to try and do that just completing the game once. So it wants you to complete the game multiple times. To be honest, though, the things that it is asking you to do, like it's, I know it's like for replay value, but the things that it's asking you to do, like beat the game without using a red herb and the blood collector stuff, like you're kind of hard pressed to get me to replay games. It's kind of hard for me, right? Like you really have to be really good to get me to do it. There are very few games that get this from me, get this reaction from me. And RE4 Remake did get that reaction from me, right? But here I was so much more less inclined to replay this, I think. I was just like, okay, you want me to grind this out? You truly want me to grind this out for 3 playthroughs, possibly, to get what I need, possibly to beat Insanity?
That's just
I
something for people who don't want to feel like they spent $60 on a short game. Sorry, $70 on a short game. I don't think they expect
maybe
many people to actually like play all that. I actually didn't even know that there was an insanity mode. I'll keep it a buck. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I think
Uh,
it's literally
uh,
just for the people who are like, I don't want to spend that much on a. I needed to have an end game. I needed to have a replay value or whatever. But I feel like there aren't many Resident Evil fans who are like that. They just play it once and move on.
Move on. Yeah. And then that is to say, there's even more replay value here. Before I beat the game, Leon Must Die Forever came out as free DLC for Resident Evil 9 there. And I got excited because I was like, "Oh, wow! They're doing a Leon Must Die." If you're confused as to why, in Resident Evil 7, there was Ethan Must Die. Ethan Must Die was a like, they kind of brought like a it was like a my closest analog here is like a go fuck yourself, like very authored short, ultra hard, like it's like if you made Resident Evil a puzzle game but with combat. sort of ordeal where everything was hard as balls. You had to choreograph and figure out the choreography to a very significant extent, and then hope and then there were like these boxes that you would randomly like sort of break, and they'd have certain items in them, and you'd hope, okay, this has this one that I need, so I can fight this room, and then here like
Yeah,
it took you
Resident
kind of
9 is not like that. 9 is
no
9 is a prototype for a roguelike, but they're definitely planning to release in the future. That's my
yeah
conspiracy theory.
yeah Leon Must Die Forever is not that. Unfortunately, I was, to my chagrin, I was excited and I was like, oh, it's not that. Um, yeah, Leon Must Die is like a. I got to be honest, it's free DLC, and you're like, oh, you're complaining about free content, but I'm like, to be honest with you, it's half-assed. It's a little half-assed. As someone who we both have played a bunch of roguelikes,
Yeah,
and this is a half-assed
it doesn't commit.
one.
No, it doesn't commit. First of all, I agree. I don't care if it's free. If I got a free burger and the burger was undercooked, I'd still be pissed that I was given a free undercooked burger. But yeah, no, I would say I would agree that it is half baked, and I think it literally was just they were just doing telemetric data collection to be like, what should we focus on when we clearly inevitably make the Resident Evil roguelike mode. So
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel the same. I tried a few runs. It just felt weirdly weirdly cheap in the grand scheme compared to Mercenaries and RE4 remake, right?
yeah,
It felt weirdly cheap and like, oh, here's just a giant door that kind of shows up.
yeah. I think it is interesting because I think it didn't make as much its existence didn't make as much sense to me until I realized that until we were told, I should say, that Code Veronica is coming out next year, which means that that's what they, I would assume, immediately went to work on, if not started as RE9 was finishing development.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, that made it make more sense to me. And I also know, I believe the rumor is that there's another DLC coming out, and that's supposed to come
yes.
out after Veronica, which I don't think has ever happened with the Resident Evil, where
That has
major
never
yeah,
happened.
major
That has
DLC comes
never
out.
happened.
And I think that's probably because, one, I assume it's going to be more expansive, and two, I assume it's going to be connected to Veronica in some way, which makes, I wouldn't say it justifies Leon Must Die's thinness, but also, but does explain it. I'll also say I watched Ghost play it, and it didn't seem very fun. They did it
Nope.
because you can get some cat ears for Leon. But I feel like, not to speak for them, but I feel like once they got the cat ears, I don't even know if they ever went back to play. Oh, and you can only use the cat ears in that mode, which means
Nope.
by the
Yeah, you can
time you're
only use it in
sick
the
of it,
mode.
it's like, here, do it again, but with the cat ears. No one's going to want to do that. Very dumb. Very dumb of
Yeah.
them.
I was like, I can't wear a siren when I talk to Grace. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
You should
should be
have the
able to wear
cat
the
ears
siren
in
on my
all the
head.
cutscenes. Dumb.
But yeah, it felt odd because it's it's a little, I guess RE7 was like crazy. Like when I think back to that game, I'm like, damn, that game was a total package. Like, yeah, like it had like a
It
kind of a
had to be.
yeah, I guess it
Sorry,
had
I
to
just
be
it
as
had to
a
be because
comeback.
the
It had to
last
be.
game that came out was Resident Evil 6. Could you imagine if 7 was bad? We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. That series would be dead and buried.
Yeah. But it had like its DLC was like kind of wild for a Resident Evil game. How good like the total, like, because the 21 game, the blackjack thing that happened was in there as well. Like the weird, the more like narrative focused like TV like Saw stuff was in there. Like they just had the whole set in there
Yeah,
for each demographic.
yeah.
Um yeah, just great DLC for a Resident Evil game, and still probably the only one. Like, yeah, Ada's in RE remake, and but that was originally in Resident
It's
Evil
also
4, so I
it's also
barely
super
caught it.
short. Super
Yeah, it
short,
was super
and you
short.
don't you don't you don't punch any zombies in the face. That is
Yeah.
my bar for Resident Evil DLC going forward,
Yeah, like you
and it
like
is yet to be
literally when are
cleared.
we haven't punched a zombie in the face like that since.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't do that and then not raise the bar for sure.
Yeah, but Resident Evil Requiem, great. I think it's a like Leon's. They are polished. They have polished Leon's combat to like a mirror sheen
Oh, I'd
at this
polish Leon,
point.
right? But yes, I
All
agree.
right. Grace, I'm curious, you know, about what they think about the Resident Evil like sort of traditional formula when I play Grace's sections because we you just saw a playthrough of Code Veronica there.
Yeah, that's my assumption. Yeah,
and to I would know more, but to me, Code Veronica was the only game that I soft locked and was not able to complete the first time around because I
dog, that
I didn't
game,
have enough.
it is so fucking ass. And I know you're gonna be like, no, 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 no. No. I watched them play it literally last week. It is fresh in my mind, fresher in my mind than yours. It is ass. That I can't believe. It was a miserable experience. By the time we were done, but it just no one was happy. It literally brought the mood down. Horrible game. It really needs a remake. I'm glad they're getting around to this because goddamn.
Yeah, yeah, worse than Zero, but Zero has problems as well.
Yes, Zero
Um,
needs a remake too for sure. But
probably
Veronica
does.
one.
On that note, I did not only finish Resident Evil Requiem, I also I finished watching every Resident Evil Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies, all of them in their entirety this year. Um, I I can't. It's wild to say that the first one is the most subdued one, and the way they ratchet up like what's happening moment to moment in those movies
Yeah,
from entry to entry is insane.
yeah,
I it is absolutely batshit. One to two is absolutely crazy. The cuts are obscene. The color takes because the first one comes out like right at the beginning, right at the beginning of the millennia there, thereabouts. Like we fast forward like I think 3 years or 2 years, and then suddenly like we figured out like certain cameras started being used, and you could see that, and then they're like we could have every second there's a cut every second. It shouldn't stop. It should never stop. Joe should always be doing something, always, all the time. When like it's absolutely goddamn crazy. These movies are some of the most bottom of the barrel, like
schlock.
schlock.
It's schlock.
Like you, like I didn't understand then how they were making money. I saw all of these on TV. I never went to the theater for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
No shot I would ever go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, back then, my friend did though. I think he went to the theater for Extinction. Um, yeah, yeah.
They're just they're really bad. I think the reason why they make so much money, one, very small budgets. I remember, I believe the average is like 40-ish, um, 40-ish million dollars. And then, yeah, like it's like 40 mil, around 40 to 45. Obviously, they got bigger over time, but they had a huge return of investment uh, subsequently. And I think the other thing, I believe they're extremely popular in Japan. That is my understanding, is that they love that shit over there.
Wait, really? They
Yeah,
like that shit?
yeah. That's my understanding. I'd have to. double check, but I remember reading an article that was like they love that shit. But so does America. Like
No,
they
we like it too. That's why
yeah,
I didn't get it.
they
We
like
like.
that
They,
shit.
well, apparently, we like it too.
Yeah, it wasn't until like the last chapter that it wasn't doing very well. Okay, here's a number. So for the final chapter, it made 26 mil in North America. It made $287 million world in other territories. So for a combined total of 314 million on a $40 million budget. That is
And
an
they would make,
that's an
yeah,
unreal return on investment.
and they
So
do, and they did it like 4 times.
yeah.
They did it
Multiply
four
that by
times,
like
like,
6 times total, I believe.
at least, and then it does taper off once we get to the final chapter. But like I didn't get it back then. I still don't get it now. I think these movies are like deeply like uninteresting in some ways. But what I will say, and the reason I talk about it after Resident Evil 9 is because do you remember the twist of Resident Evil 9 besides Grace?
About Clone Wesker.
About who's behind like most of the going ons.
Uh, no, no, I don't.
It's
If
our
it's not
good
Clone
old
West,
buddy.
if it's not Clone Wesker, then no, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's our good old buddy, the U.S. of A. So in Resident Evil 9, it is revealed that the U.S. is highly responsible for most of the events that have happened thus far.
Oh,
Besides,
yeah.
just Wesker and Spencer and the connections and Umbrella. Like the reason Umbrella is allowed to exist is because governments want it that way.
Yeah,
Umbrella is not just some sort of force that gets to operate independently of governments per se. No, because they have only gotten this far because governments like that they have certain weapons.
yeah.
And in the Resident Evil movies, it's funny that W.S. Anderson reaches this conclusion
On his
decade
own.
before on his own, a decade before the series
Yeah,
does. In Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, at the end they go, "Yeah, man, the only reason like this shit was, or not even, it was the movie before that, and then they solidified it in the final chapter. The movie before that, they go, yeah, Umbrella has bases in Russia and Moscow, in the U.S., in China, and they're like, hey, wait, why do they have bases there? That's weird. It's like, well, what do you think? It's because they're all like, they're just working for them. They're just buying from Umbrella, so they use it against each other.
yeah.
The world governments want their own weapons, and it's so funny to me that as roundabout as it does it, and as nonsensical with like they throw away there's a point in the third to last movie where they throw away the fact that Mila Jovovich gets a fucking daughter, and then she's just forgotten in the next movie immediately. Like we don't even talk about it. And then they did a version of that 2 movies before that where they save some girl, and then that group goes missing. Then you find some people from that group. Then you never see that girl again. It's wild work. But it's so funny to me that somehow they got here. They like W.S. Anderson still got. They're like, well, in mine, like for so much of the plot that doesn't make sense. In his mind, he's like, well, the only reason Umbrella would exist is because the U.S. government allows it. So it has to be the U.S. government that's the evil one
You probably
in the
saw what
story.
it cost because, like, to get military equipment and things like that for films, you basically have to sign off with America to be like, make sure it's like jingoistic to some extent. You can't like shit talk America too much if you want our equipment. I don't remember if it's like a contractual obligation or or effectively like a an open secret. But
It's kind of. I think it's also an open
yeah,
secret. It might be in contractual, but I think it's open secret because the CIA is very much,
yeah,
like like the Marvel movies are embedded very deeply.
yeah. It's propaganda at a certain point. So he probably saw that
you know.
shit and he was like, "Hang on a second." His two brain cells
Hang
hit.
on a damn second.
Yeah,
Right at the end, near the end, the brain cells hit. Right near the end, the brain. And funnily enough, the final chapter, like for the money tapering off at the final, I had the most fun all the way at the end.
interesting.
To be honest with you, I had the most fun I was having was all the way at the end. Like there were more like, okay, that was funny, and part of the reason was because I'm trying to remember this actor's name here. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. So Wesker is not the main villain, like anymore by this point. Like they bring back Wesker, they clone Wesker, but like he's not the main villain. We've killed him like twice over. The main villain we've also killed like twice over at this point. But the main villain is some guy all the way back at the beginning. And I believe he's like the Birkin equivalent. From RE2.
Yeah,
I think he's like the Birkin equivalent.
yeah,
Oh god, I'm trying to remember this guy's name. Where's he with the final chapter? Because he is like actually like I gotta say something. There are fine actors in these movies like that who perform well in other places, but the script is not doing much in most of these movies. It is absolutely quite terrible
mm-hmm.
most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this time they were like, well, what if we revolved most of the movie around this guy because he's really selling it. He's chewing scenery for us
That's funny.
on the screen, right? Like, what if it was only this guy? And they were right. That was the right decision. That guy is charismatic. Ian Glenn is his name. Ian Glenn was Dr. Isaacs in the movie, and also Dr. Isaacs in the first Resident Evil movie. He ends up the plot twist is he came back, he cloned himself, he's the main villain, and he cloned himself before you were able to kill him. You actually killed a clone of him back in in the first Resident Evil movie. And he is actually really funny, and he really sells like this goofy like he brings more of the charm of the funny villain from the games than any of the other than Wesker does. Even though I think that guy's a good Wesker, they just don't give him that much.
Yeah,
But they gave this guy a bunch of lines.
interesting.
And if the movie was better for it, there were cooler scenes even in the final chapter. Like it was weird to see that the months. If you look at the box office numbers, I'm pretty sure the final chapter made less than some of the last two before it. Um, but I think it was the most enjoyable one. To be honest,
That's fair.
I think it wraps up like not nicely, but like it wraps up like better than most of the others' run times. And
Gotcha.
also, I gotta say something. Leon does not look like Leon in that second to last movie.
Well,
He
yeah.
he looks he looks like so bad.
That's why
He
we
looks
never.
so
That's why
bad.
we've never watched it in the Discord because that would literally kill Ghost. So,
And also, we forget Leon exists. Like he survives the last movie, but he's just not in the final chapter.
well, yeah, because he was popular by the time Resident Evil 4 came out, and you can't have somebody be popular when Mila is there and the director
Mila's there. My wife
is
is
her
there, so
husband.
she
Yeah,
has to be more popular.
yeah,
She has to have all the scenes.
yeah.
But it's really like those movies. Yeah, definition of schlock. Like the second movie, borderline hurt my eyes at times. But in the end, it's I think it's really funny that he it's a called shot on Capcom of yeah you're gonna end up here. This is the only way it works. This is the only way it works. So at least props for that,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Anderson. At least for that. And then I saw another movie.
I'm curious about
Just
this
just
one.
just just a bit ago, just 2 days ago, I saw a scary movie.
The reboot.
The
Would
reboot.
you believe me if I told you that I've never seen a single scary movie?
Whoa,
Yep.
really?
Not a one.
Oh wow, this is
Mm-mm.
gonna be interesting to explain then.
Okay.
Um, so, so I guess I'll start here. Um have you seen like Epic Movie or Superfly or
Yeah.
parody movies
I've seen
from
movies
the
of its
aughts?
ilk. Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah. So if you've seen those, you know the general template here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the different thing about the scary movies is that scary movies are have a symbiotic relationship with Scream, right? Scream, as long as there is Scream after the Wayne's brother, when they started making them after the Wayne's brothers left after Scary Movie 2, I think.
I didn't
As
realize
long
they
as there
left
was
so early. Sorry, but
yeah,
that's
yeah,
news
they
to me.
left after 2, I'm pretty sure, and then 3 and 4 were by Zucker. I think Paul Zucker or something. He was one of the co-directors of Airplane and National Lampoon. Um, it's clear to me. It's clear that seeing Scary Movie 3 and 4, those things were lightning in a bottle. I think he does not have it. If you've seen Scary Movie 3 and 4,
I see.
um, well, at least not by himself, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But so like they have a symbiotic relationship with Scream because every single scary movie has the general structure of a Scream of the titled numbered Scream movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Scary Movie 1 is like Scream 1.
Yeah,
And Scary Movie 2 is like Scream 2 and so on and so forth, right? That's why 3 and 4 sort of keep happening. They're like, well, Scream movies are still coming out, so we're still going to keep pumping them out is the decision seemingly, right?
mm.
Um Something that's interesting when you're coming in when I was thinking about this, I was like, "Huh. So they're doing another one. The Wayne's brothers are back, but but it's like I guess I didn't clock it, and it didn't take me until I sat down. I was like, oh, they're doing Scream 5. Of course they are, because they stopped at Scream 4. Because for some reason I expected it to be Scream 7, right? When I sat down, and I was like, wait, no, they stopped at 4. It has to be 5. Scream 5 is the one that looks at itself that we saw not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Scream 5 is the one that has to answer questions about why are we still doing this, interrogating its own plot lines, its own tropes
Yeah.
that it originated. What does the series do after this long? Things like of that
Let's
nature,
not talk
right?
about what it has to do after that.
Well, we have to kind of talk about that later. But so that means that Scary Movie, because of the structure of this Scream, has to also do this, right? It has to also go, well, we've been gone a long time. What's happened since then? And what does a scary movie look like when it, quote unquote, interrogates itself? Because it has to. Because that's the Scream movie it's spoofing. Um, this is a $3 bargain bin movie to me. Um, Unfortunately.
Okay.
There are flashes of greatness here, though. There are flashes of greatness, is what I'll say. But I was not laughing for a lot of
Not
it.
ideal. Not ideal for
Um,
your horror. For your
for your
comedy.
horror
Sorry, your
parody,
comedy. Yes, for
you
horror
know.
comedy.
But you know, like I appreciate the try at the structure. I'll say this, like the movie is like very much doing the we're gonna kill off all the new protagonists.
Okay.
We're gonna kill them all off,
Okay.
right? Um, every single new person is dead by the end of this movie. I don't care about spoiling a scary movie. To be honest with you, I'm
Yeah, I
not.
don't
That's
think
why I
that's
didn't
possible.
preface this with, that much, right? But every single new character dies by the end. A couple of old characters die. but they are not that important to what is, since you don't know, Anna Faris, Regina, both the Wayans brothers all live here, right? There's, I'm not sure we're still doing the same. So I didn't realize this. I forgot Anna Faris was in Brokeback Mountain. Now I know this seems like a tangent, but stay with me here. I forgot Anna Faris was in Brokeback Mountain. So when we were still seeing the Brokeback Mountain jokes, I was confused. I was like, how are we still doing the Brokeback Mountain jokes? It's been like, how long? Close to 20 years? How are we still doing these jokes?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh wait, it's like an inside joke between them because Anna Faris was in Brokeback Mountain. That seems to be why they did the joke in the first place, not just because ha ha, it's a gay joke thing, right? They're also doing she was in Brokeback Mountain, and it's supposed to be funny that, like, I guess you're referencing it here or whatever. This to name a few of the movies that this parodies, this does Sinners, this mentions It Follows, this does basically a lot of the movies it missed in the zeitgeist, and it's 10-year, like it does it. There's a throwaway joke about it somewhere, okay. Right? They're mostly not all good. So, like, I don't know if you have strong opinions about these types of movies. I haven't seen them in a while, right? They're not made much anymore. So maybe I've lost a taste for them. But I think when I think back to these movies, why Scary Movie 1 and 2 were good. Like there's obviously an absurdity to them, but there's like an understanding about what it's parodying that I think was there, but from the lens of, the Wayans brothers, right? And sort of inherently black culture,
sure.
Right? But I think what is lost, Scary Movie 3 and 4 and most later parody movies lose this, most things that are not Airplane or National Lampoon, like when you reference something, I think you're trying to, you're trying to glean a joke and like an understanding about it between you and the viewer. And I think a lot of the references and their jokes are very surface level and signal to me that you maybe just watched a trailer of this and you didn't see this thing, right? And I think the jokes end up falling flat because you're like, there's no deeper thing to get here. It's not like more funny in a sort of way because, like, here's this thing that you would have only known. It's not even just that, like, it's like a LARPing or anything. It's more like there's nothing else here. The pool is very shallow on what the joke is, right? There's not multiple levels to what's happening. It's just supposed to be funny that you referenced it like Bad Family Guy.
Okay, so right? It's just bad comedy, bro. This is why I don't watch any of these, because it feels like they're effectively all like this. I find most adult or like comedy films to not be very good. I don't know why. Well, that's definitely part of why, but I feel like in general it's just not. They aren't very good. Airplane was good. I watched Airplane for the first time recently, but there is something about like rated R comedy films that are not very funny. Surprisingly, I find horror movies to be funnier than anything else, which is interesting given that Scary Movie is a comedy film first and not actually a horror film. But it seems to not be doing what it's supposed to be doing, that's not good.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. I was thinking about this too. I was like, well, Scream 5 is actually funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all funny. Doug, I don't know if you saw Obsession. Creepy.
Obsession's film. Hilarious, man. Obsession's so
Obsession
funny.
Had me howling. It's very funny. Yeah.
I don't know about your movie theater when in Obsession when the guy gets back in the when Barry gets back in the bed at some point, some guy in my theater yelled, "Bro, come on!" And everyone fucking cracked up.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
Super,
yeah,
there's super funny
it's very
stuff in
funny.
there.
Yeah,
But like it's interesting you bring it because like Scream 5 is like funny,
yeah,
like in my memory, right? It's funny, so I'm like, well, it's already funny. So what are what are you gonna do? Because like the conceit of like doing these is like bringing levity to such serious movies, right?
yeah,
And I think that used to be more applicable, you know, back then. I think the horror movies were a little more like deathly serious. I think when you there's a certain like dark comedy that I guess I would call sort of a Bloomhouse era and on. If you want to talk about the last 10 years or 5 years of horror
yeah,
thus far, like there's a certain dark comedy that is in a lot of these, and Scary Movie is I don't think is in a harder spot structurally because they're already a lot of these are already funny, and you have to do the added task of sort of adding on to it. It's kind I think it's a hard ask I think from yourself to be honest considering the climate.
yeah,
That is to say, there are flashes. There's a part where I'm like, okay, you understand media. It's also about understanding like the parody movies are understanding a capsule and a moment in time. There's a part where the movies. Okay, by the way, the movie does do a kind of a very faithful John Wick
yeah. I heard that was like one of
like
the only good
pastiche.
bits.
Yeah, it's real. It's like actually like wait. They're cooking. They're recontextualizing John Wick as a monster in and of himself, and he is unleashing the horror movie upon all the people he kills in those movies.
Yeah,
Right? Like that's a cool thing to think about. And there's a bit where Anna Faris has her hair black for no reason and turns into Ana de Armas from Ballerina, which they go, yeah, that one was good, but no one watched it.
yeah,
And then they just say that in the movie. But like she's in a jet black car, like a la like John Wick, for a phone call while doing a horror movie bit. But then as she drives, as she like burns out off into the street, a couple comes out of a house, and the guy and the boyfriend goes, "Congratulations, baby, it's your new car." And there's there's a red bow on the car. And then as she's looking on, as they're looking on, he goes, "What happened to the car?" And then they see the car pull out of the fucking thing. So like, but not only do they do that, they change the aspect ratio where it looks like a car commercial to do it.
That's
And
right.
so like they're doing like a 3-prong joke with John Wick, that and that. I'm like, wait, that they fucking cooked there.
Yeah.
They fucking cooked there. That was funny.
more of
But
that.
they don't do that
more of
often.
that.
Like
Yeah,
it has to be more of that. Like, yes, I understand like media, not just like I saw these movies and or passively watched their trailers or something. Like doing like multi-layered stuff like that is like interesting, right? But like all the rest of the throwaways that happen, were not interesting. There's another one, and this is the end of the movie essentially, where they do the thing. They have to tackle themselves. So the twist is that just like, the Scream, the twist is that there were multiple killers. So much so that Anna Faris had to kill like, I don't know, 50 guys, 50 ghost faces
yeah.
in a John Wick scene.
Yeah.
And then the extra twist is that there were 4 killers and they were all black. And then the funny part is like, look, it was all of us. It was an all black cast, black excellence on display. And I was like, wait, that shit is fucking funny, man. So Anthony Anderson, Shaquille O'Neal, and both the Wayans brothers were behind it all.
Oh wow!
And
Like actually, Shaquille.
you might like actually Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal, if you don't get it, he was in Scary Movie 3 or 4, I believe. Yeah, and this is a callback to that, right? And Anthony Anderson is here too. So the bit here about black excellence is really funny because they start going like, oh yeah, like they start kind of breaking the fourth wall and go, yeah, oh man, Shaq, I loved you, I I love what your career has been since you started like a casting. You know, I love your commentary. Like you know, Marlon was on about it there, and then like he was like, you know, he like you know does a pause, and then he fucking stabs him like 5 times, and he's like, Shaq's like, Shaquille's like, why? And he's like, because I can't understand you when you're talking. And then he goes into a Shaq impression, and he goes, I don't know what you're saying on the fucking show, man. I don't know what you're saying. And then he dies, and then like we approach Anthony Anderson. And then Anthony, like he kind of he tries to put his arm around Anthony, and Anthony, like he jumps. He's like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, you know, oh Anthony, you've had a good career too, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, you got nominated for like, you know, 8 Emmys, right? He's like, yeah. In fact, you know, 3 of those Emmys were the show, and then 8 of them were mine. And then he's like, oh yeah, you've been doing great, right? Yeah. Then he stabs Anthony Anderson, and then he goes, why? He's like, you never won any of them. You only got nominated.
This is true.
And it's super funny to go like, you weren't good enough. We need black excellence in here. You weren't good enough.
Yeah,
Sorry,
not excellent enough.
You gotta be on game. And then they ask Anna Faris and Regina, hey, why did you do Scary Movies 3 and 4 without us? And then you know, Regina was straight up like, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of damn money, man.
Probably true. It's probably true.
I bought a house and for my kids and stuff like you know, and he was like, that's fair. And then they turned to Anna Faris, the white one, right? He's like, well, why'd you do it, Anna? And she and this is a good bit of like Anna trying to do the like a more longer explanation and trying to do more hoops around it, right? Like, oh, you know, like, you know, they asked me to, you know, I knew the director or whatever, and they asked me to do, you know, like it's really good. It's actually really funny. It's actually really funny there at the end.
But overall,
and then,
not very good.
But that's only like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And then that scene was obviously like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Out of I'm assuming nearly 2
out of an hour and 40 movie.
Yikes.
So, you know, like
yeah.
What I'll say is that they seem to have something to say about what happens when the series goes on without them. Because as I said, all these kids they die. I barely even mention them because it's barely even worth mentioning. But you know, there's a cast of kids characters, and they all die. One of the things though is that is one of the I guess demerits on the film is that there's a scene where the one of the characters is in the train, and this is homaging. They do a smile bit, like they're the smile. Remember the smile
okay,
movie?
Move on. Don't talk to me about that fucking movie. We're already over time. I don't want to talk about Smile.
But essentially they're like, she's like murdered in this train, right? But the way she's murdered is that she's been getting murdered, and then a white lady goes, "Oh my God, she's getting stabbed! Someone do something!" And then the character goes, "That's they. I use they them pronouns, right? It's this bit.
Yeah.
It's this bit. These are unks we're talking about here." And then the Karen goes like, or rather the kid character calls her a Karen, and then the Karen goes, "My name is actually Karen," and then she takes a knife out of her bag and starts stabbing the character as well. The kid character as well. And then another construction worker, a black construction worker, is like, well, you know, these kids don't get that we're doing it for them. And then the character then goes like, well, you think you're doing the right thing for us, but you're not. And then he goes like, you know what? I need mines too. And then like it just becomes about these old people like fucking killing this kid, like they're just stabbing them endlessly. And then at the end, what they do is that they tie up the last remaining kid characters, leave them in the house, and then burn down the house, and then walk out of the house. Just the remaining OG cast, just the remaining 4 OG casts, and they walk off into the night. And to me, that sounds like you will not do another one of these movies without me. And I don't care about passing on the torch or whatever.
There's only one. There'll only
is
ever be one blade.
yeah,
Gotcha.
is what this reads as to me. But also, I found it kind of poetic, considering the state of Scream right now, as a house burning on fire,
Yeah. Well,
deciding what they should do.
I will prefer not looking up the Wayne's brothers' opinions on Israel. I mean I know one of them has
Yeah,
a trans kid that they're
yeah,
like supportive of though, so we're already in a good spot.
you
Um,
know.
any other thoughts on Scary Movie?
Um, I think they don't have it. There are flashes. There is a bit. There's a long legs bit in here where um they're in the car and they're two people who are like acting like
Hang
the
on,
FBI
you are
agents, right?
only naming strong bits right now. Was the movie good or not? You've literally
No,
spent
no,
like the
no.
past 20 minutes talking about
I
all the
need you. I
good
need you to
bits.
know there are so many. There are so many things I'm not mentioning that sucked. There are
Okay.
so many
Right,
things, and those
you're
bit.
selling it right now. I just want to make that clear.
No, 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 no. I need you. Okay, okay. I need you to understand, like that. The bits I'm talking about, the car bit, and then the black excellence bit, that is cumulatively like 5 to 10 minutes, and this bit I'm talking about here, it's like 2 minutes, and
Okay.
then
And
that's
that's it.
really it. That's
Okay,
all I
okay.
have for you.
Okay. Okay. I was like, so I was
Like
like,
out of an hour and 40 movie, that's all I have for
you were
you.
like, they don't have it, and then immediately jumps into, I guess, the last good bit. But overall,
Yeah.
trash.
Overall, they don't have it. No.
Okay.
This bit is a long legs bit. It's the scene where Nicolas Cage is long legs is like standing out on the bus stop. If you remember this.
No, because that
Um.
movie made me fall asleep. But go ahead.
Oh, you didn't like long
That
legs?
movie was so fucking boring, bro. I could not believe the
I
praise it got.
disagree. I
Okay,
disagree.
that's
I
fine.
think, but there's a bit in long legs where Nicolas Cage is standing by a bus stop, waiting to be caught, as it were. Um, there's a titular character who shows up as Longlegs here, who's in a lot of the scary movies. I forgot what this white guy's name is though. Elliot. I think it's something Elliot.
Sure.
Is his name. But yeah, he shows up in a lot of these. He makes a little cameo there. There's a bit where the FBI agents are in the car, they're looking at the guy, and she goes, "Okay, I think it's that guy. It's him." And then the black guy, FBI guy agent goes, "Hmm, you sure it's not that other guy over there?" And there's a black guy standing next to him, who's clearly, was like, clearly a black man, but the other guy is clearly white, but he's just wearing like darker, like kind of like clown makeup or something, right? And then she goes, "No, I'm pretty sure it's the other guy," and he goes, "I don't know. I think the other guy's kind of like a grayish brown." And I want you to know that all I could think about when that moment happened was Fire Emblem characters.
Right.
The first thing that popped into my head was a Fire Emblem character looking grayish
They do be doing
brown,
that.
or a Genshin character looking like a grayish
They do be
pale
doing
brown.
that. They do be doing that. It's common.
And the bit was funnier because I was thinking about that thing, and then he goes like, "No, I think it's that other guy over there." So they arrest the black guy instead of the long legs,
Of course.
And that's all right. That's all right. And then that's it. That's what I have. Largely, so many of the bits were so forgettable. Crypto bits about they don't understand. There's a whole Kai Cenat bit that went on way too long. The Sinners bit was bad and went on way too long. The other Sinners bit at the house, where they're playing, where the three of them in Sinners like walk up to the barn, right, and go, "We want to come in." That bit went on way too long. But the Jeffersons is a funny song to play there. It's a funny band to play there, but there's so many. I can't convey to you. There are so many throwaway things that are bad, and I'm not mentioning them because it would take too long to explain why I didn't like them,
Gotcha.
and how they're falling on deaf ears for me.
Gotcha.
I don't know what to do about these types of movies. I think there's a reason they're not made
Don't
anymore. They're
make them.
hard to make.
Just don't make them.
They're hard to make. I think.
Yeah.
You
Just don't
have to
make
have
them.
a really. I think you have to have a really good understanding of all the movies you're parodying, and you have to have a deft touch, and I think that's hard. when you, I think that's hard. I think that's hard for a lot of filmmakers, possibly,
Yeah,
who are trying to make an earnest one of these. I guess is what I would say. Um, yeah, it just didn't work for me on the whole. There are flashes, but you run on for a broken clock is right twice a day. So
gotcha. All right. Um, Real quick, I saw The Furious yesterday. That was one of the best action films I've seen in my entire life. That's it. You should go watch it. I can't talk about it. There was a bit. I'll just say this. There is a bit where it cuts across five characters. Like it shows their faces in like little panels. And when when I tell you I marked out, I can't even begin to describe it. It's the only movie I've ever had, I've ever watched, where my heartbeat was like elevated because of what I was seeing on screen. So, um, yeah,
wow.
yeah, you should watch. You should watch. But apparently, they're not playing it anywhere, and you're apparently
Yeah,
Blackwater's
I
town.
checked out my AMC and I checked out the AMC and I checked out the other movie theater and I'm like, wow, like really
Yeah,
nothing
it's
for me.
to be fair. I mean, I joke about you living in the backwaters or whatever, but um, all the showings are extremely late where I'm at. Like we came back from the theater at like 1 a.m. So
Oh,
they're not showing it very much, which pisses me off because that movie would have been fantastic to watch in like a large crowd. Um, I'm hoping
mm,
I'm probably gonna go see it again, but which I don't do
gotcha.
often.
Okay,
But yeah. What's the Furious?
neither do I. Yeah.
We're old. Okay, they have one on Sunday at 10 a.m. Perfect, perfect for my decrepit ass. Wonderful. Look it up. We have news. What? We do have news. Okay, we have news. Um, let's
We
see.
sure do.
Some of this. Okay, I mean this one. I really just have an I agree, which is Capcom says that shifting from auteur-driven development to team-led development is what transformed the company and allowed flagship IPs to survive for so long. They may as well have just spat in Kojima's face directly, but I guess that would be ruder than just saying this. Um, it's particularly true for Capcom because their auteurs almost sunk the entire company. Ono, not great, and the what is it, Inafune, worse.
Unifune.
So, and it's true. Once we stopped hearing about specific names, it stopped falling apart. The only exceptions to that are like Kamiya and what was the Mikami, and they both left the company. So,
Yeah.
so hard to agree, I
So
suppose.
so what I would say is that like the the reason like and when they talk about it there in the article, the reason they sound like they do it is less probably because of though like I mean it honestly may be Inafune. I think it's mainly Inafune
It's
honestly.
definitely Inafune.
Um
Ono wasn't that bad,
um
but Inafune was a nightmare.
I think it was Inafune, but like if I were to guess, I think this is partly this is like Itsuno for sure
Oh yeah, Itsuno too.
because
It's a bro ruined Dragon's Dogma too, and then said bye. I want Chinese money now, thank you. Wait, was it China or Saudi Arabia? One of the two.
I
Yeah.
forgot
Nobody
which.
knows who did Dark Arisen, which is the only reason the original Dragon's Dogma was good. I don't care what anybody says. The original Dragon's Dogma was not good until Dark Arisen. So
Yeah, I think original Dragon's Dogma is rough. I think this game Dragon's Dogma 2 desperately needed like there are problems about sort of the middle of that game that need to be addressed that were never addressed
yeah.
and like I hope Dark Arisen for it is as good as like the first one.
If it's the
Because if it
same guy,
is,
then this game is gonna be fantastic.
it's gonna be incredible stuff. But what I would say there, yeah, partly due to Itsuno possibly because it sounds like Capcom was lost as to what to do about specifically like Mega Man and Devil May Cry. Possibly, they're like, what do we even do
Yeah.
now that those guys are gone?
Yeah.
Um, and I also this might be this is a tinfoil hat now. Maybe this is also about Shu Takumi.
I can see that.
Maybe this is also about him as like the principal writer behind Ace Attorney. At least, like as the guy.
Yeah.
Like this all falls on one guy essentially. This stops and starts with him and how good his writing is and whether he's willing to do it. I wonder, yeah, like there are enough of those, like not even the bad ones like Inafune, but enough of like, oh, he might be busy, or oh, we're waiting on this,
Yeah.
like on like having one bottleneck really probably, I guess, soured them on that sort of thing. I think there's a time and a place for it, for having like a sort of like a more singular vision, but they are like prime bound more than a lot of other companies to that sort of method. So I can see why they would have done this drastic restructuring.
Yeah. To
You
give
know?
a direct example, when the puzzle creator for Professor Layton died, Professor Layton
Yeah.
just sucked for the longest time. The new one might suck too, to be honest. I yeah, they did not have a successor prepared. They did not, and that in particular, I think they're kind of similar in that writing an Ace Attorney thing is a very specific kind of skill. I think building a bullshit Professor Layton puzzle is also its own like very specific
Yeah.
skill. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Apparently the Leighton one, they announced uh who was doing the puzzles for that. It's these guys, these Japanese guys. They're called I think it's Quiz World or
Oh,
something.
so they looked
They're called
outside of game development.
Yes.
That's a good move.
This is like a YouTube channel.
That's a good move.
Um
That's a good
and
move.
and they do like a bunch of the like I was like trying to translate to decipher what the fuck there was going on. And
That's
I was like,
already a sign that they're going to do a good Blade game because I'm trying to translate it,
yeah.
and that game is in English. So
And so I was like, I don't know what the fuck the riddles they were coming up with on that show. They were asking each other. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I have some more seeing those videos. I have more faith in that than I previously did.
Yeah,
From there, but yeah, like having bottlenecks like that, it's a tough thing. But Capcom just kind of went through their own bottleneck with who was making the world tour content
ah,
as
what a
well through
segue.
one studio. Uh, on that front, like I gotta say, I don't believe them completely when they go like so like there are a bunch of these statements from one of the heads of Capcom here. He said some stuff that I don't completely agree with here, but I see why he would say them. Certainly. Um, so he said something which perplexes me, at least in regards to Street Fighter. He said his next goal is to strengthen player development in the U.S.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is contrary to what you guys were saying,
And doing.
like, and doing. What do you mean? That's not true.
Yeah,
That's not true at all. You're doubling down on Japan as far as we could tell.
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about here.
yeah,
To be quite honest. Maybe you mean in terms of like esports, but this is a strange dichotomy to have, because if you mean you want to increase player development in the US in terms of esports, I think you first have to at least acquiesce to some demands and sort of the wider game balance,
yeah.
or what is happening in terms of content in Street Fighter. This is a strange statement, to be honest, from him. Um, and to me, he said something else. Which we know this isn't the truth. He said, "Quote." He cited a time zone differences as a major reason and said it reinforced the importance of holding events in U.S. friendly time slots to grow global viewership. I'm here to tell you, it's that you had to pay for it,
Yeah, he said
motherfucker. And
that
I know you know
specifically
that.
about PTZ for Capcom Cup 12. That
That's no,
yeah,
like
yeah.
no. I'm sorry, no. It's shut up, be
It
quiet.
being
This is
at 1
not what.
a.m. didn't help. But even if it was at 1 p.m., I still wouldn't pay for it.
I still wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah,
I'm not. It wasn't paid. Most people don't know who won that one,
yeah, and it's pretty
man.
interesting
Like,
because like I know it worked fine in Japan, but I also have come to realize um, the Japanese fan bases are really they're like they're kind of bootlicky about intellectual property. I didn't
absolutely.
know this, but I've come to find out these past couple of months they are really bootlicky when it comes to IP. So of course they're willing to pay for it. They're probably shocked that nobody else wants to, but I don't care about Street Fighter like that, man. I don't pay money for concerts that I want to go to because money. Maybe the dollar is a little different than the yen, but no, I'm not spending that
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Like, and considering the this has been put in stark relief, the sort of the Japanese fan base being sort of more amenable to company tomfoolery. Remember the near reincarnation stuff?
Yep.
and
Yep.
the Japanese fan base going, why would you put up servers for that? The company it was like, shut the fuck up, shut the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
up, shut the
Please,
fuck up,
please,
shut the fuck up.
politely, with all respect, with peace and love, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. And so there specifically there was some I don't have the tweet with me, but like someone from Japan who was deep into the genre as it were of like sort of anime games, manga, so on and so forth. Like was like the thing was the he cites that a lot of the Japanese fan bases on fandoms forgot what how this shit started of like dojin circles and like underground stuff and pirate like they forgot what it's like and they got like a fucking memory hold and they got
Apparently.
like this opiate of the masses type shit once like fucking the company started sort of making that stuff more accessible and that guy and that Japanese guy was like they're fuck they don't know they're bootlickers they don't know what it's like to fucking sort of do your own stuff in this space
Interesting.
anymore
They
right
said these kids don't know.
yeah, literally, it's these kids don't know what it's like.
Hmm.
And I'm inclined to agree with them. I think
Yeah,
the
well,
way Japan might have learned about like sort of more extra legal methods of interacting with your media has probably fallen by the wayside in terms of how sort of buttoned up these companies like to keep and you know their walled gardens and their paywalls and their subscription services and so on and so forth. I think that might have compounded the problem uh, already,
yeah.
right? That the Japanese fan bases might have had on that stuff, and that is to say that it's I would say you know it's not a problem for them. It's like a problem for other territories in the world
Hmm.
that Japan is thinking like this because Capcom is no matter what he says here, Capcom is like listening to Japan mostly, and that means that other like all the no matter how global they want Street Fighter to be, if they don't listen, if they only listen to Japan, there's going to be a disconnect there. I think,
Yep. Forever.
and I think that it's going to create like no matter how popular it is, because the only reason they're getting away with this is because how popular Street Fighter Six is in Japan and how far it's blown
All
up,
it's gonna
and
take is one fuck up for Japan, and they're gonna start free falling, in my opinion, because of that.
you know, so like yeah, I think it's a strange statement to say you're focusing on that stuff. He says other things that are funny, like he requested that the please avoid sexualized portrayals for new
I
characters.
appreciate that. Also,
This
specifically
that's
him, didn't he
fine.
say that they would accept characters naturally aging, which almost felt like a Tekken call out, because why do they all still look like they're 25 or younger?
I also he says that, but
They're still
also
sexualizing them. Sorry, I realize.
yeah they're still yeah he says that. I don't. what I would say is there's a right way to do it. I think there's a right way to do it, and also the legacy characters are standing right there, and the swimsuit editions are standing right there.
Yeah.
Uh, there people are gonna forget this, and in a Street Fighter 7 in like 10 years or something. I guess we should mention the important part is that they want this to last 10 years.
I mean, they can probably do it. Didn't Street Fighter Five last about that long?
No, it was 6.
Really? Oh, it's
Yeah,
another COVID thing. Did it really end in 2022?
2022.
Oh my
The
god.
when was Luke? When was Luke? Luke, because
My
Luke was the last
god.
one. It was 6 years. It was 6 seasons of
You're probably
DLC. I'm
right.
pretty
You're
sure.
probably right.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Um. But like they want this to last 10 years. Can you remind me of the last time a company said they want something to last 10 years and it worked? Don't say Warframe.
Don't say okay, well then nothing. Damn, bro.
I regularly think calling your shot like this does not work.
There's a term in Arabic. I mean, it's inshallah specifically, but what people might not know is that the reason that you say that is because, and I think this is a thing shared across our cultures. I often joke that, we're cousins in that aspect. You say it to ward off the evil eye. So if you don't, if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see the Furious again on Sunday, and I don't say inshallah, I'm basically, possibly cursing myself. And I can tell you
Inviting, yeah.
that these game devs are not saying inshallah because, again, maybe one of the Warframe devs is Muslim. I don't know, but yeah, generally, that's not going the way that they want it to.
Our latest example of this is Destiny.
Yeah.
Um,
R.I.P.
Unfortunately. But yeah, like I don't believe them,
No.
and with the way they're releasing content in this game, I find it very hard to believe they will sustain interest.
10 years of Street
Uh,
Fighter 6 with like no big mechanical changes would make me want to kill myself. I can't like
yeah.
10 years of Street Fighter 6 that's just drive rush into 2M. Come on.
Also, that I should say that we're recording this also as Yasmin has revealed her gameplay trailer. There's a lot of Capcom. Um, she looks like I'm gonna call my shot. She's a top 8 character. She's
Yeah.
a top 8 character.
She was
I'm gonna
smoothing.
call
She
my
was
shot. She
smoothing
has a
like
2 MK
Rashid and
drive
Rashid was
rush.
smoothing.
Yeah, she is smoothing. She has crazy demon. She has demon flip. She has Akuma demon flip. She has an invincible DP. She has 2 crouching medium kick drive rushes, which is what you need to be like to fight in this game effectively. Like she has a lot of good things here. She has a great hard punch. It seems like it looks like Bison's. Um, she looks very good. I'm calling her as a top 8 character. Give it like 3 months after she comes out. Um, but that is to say, they don't they don't make like bad looking characters per se. She looks good. Um, I will say one thing. Did you see this trailer?
Yeah, I watched it. I liked her hair when it was down. That was really the only thought I
I'm the
had.
opposite. I don't
Oh, you
like the
don't
way
like
her
it?
hair looks down.
Okay,
I do
you like
not
it more
like it.
spiked. Fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
I think I appreciate the contrast at the end of the match, specifically, but that's fair.
The reason it like felt wrong to me because they did this with Lily and I was annoyed with Lily. You know how with Lily when she does her like her critical art super, she actually messes up her thing and she go like falls on you with her ass or whatever. And I'm like that I shouldn't have been the other way around. Why is the one where she does more damage the one where she falls on her ass and messes up?
To make the
And it's like
opposing opponent saltier. Like I fucked you up
no,
on
I
that.
think it's like a thing they do with young characters because
I'm sure
when
they both
Yasmin
try.
wins the match, she also messes up, and that's why the hair comes down, as well. And I'm like, what is it with you and about with younger characters and them messing up? A younger character can fucking lock in. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird little thing there. For some, I don't know why Capcom they keep doing that there, but that's to say, like, yeah, she looks good. We'll see what the balance changes are. There are balance changes allegedly. Let's see if they're anything of substance.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Next story.
Nectar of the gods.
Next story. There's nothing worse than an AI generated pitch, which is, I mean, that it's depressing, really. Basically, just a bunch of developers talking about prototyping and the gambles around it. Yeah. It, what did you put it up? So
yeah, I found it really interesting to see that on the smaller scale, right? This using AI generated pitches prototypes it is a liability because you cannot prove that you can do the work essentially when crunch time comes, right? But on the AAA side, this is a sort of a tool. They are pushing this. They hired you, so the AAA side is like, yeah, whatever, you can do the work, but do it with AI though. But here on the indie side, with like sort of the sort of independent publishers and the games here, like they're like, you have to prove to us you can do something here. You can't just AI generate your pitch. And the fact that it's worth mentioning at all signals to me that more developers are trying to do this and go, hey, look, I put this together, and it's like,
I mean, that's what
That's what
AI is. It's a slot multiplier. So they're probably just getting even more slop requests at a faster, sloppier speed. And that would piss me off. I mean, there was a report specifically about the cognitive exhaustion that comes from having to constantly check in on like whether something is AI generated or not, and that's bad enough, but having to do that because if you don't, you might be investing in a game that will bite you in the ass in the future. Makes it even worse.
Yeah. And so yeah, now and there it's very risky, but it also gleans more about what is the nature of like a prototype and pitching things right now. And something that was communicated was that it's actually scarier to pitch and or prototype something than they say the rest of the dev cycle is really, because you are not sure. This is like the ultimate moment of you're not sure whether they're going to accept it, and it has to be good enough, and it has to show enough. And this is a bunch of pre-production stuff and like throwing ideas at the wall, and like it used to be that apparently you could have a pitch, you could have a design document, and you might get a greenlit, right? But nowadays, publishers and independent places alike are so risk averse that now you have to have a prototype ready. You have to.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately that it is less interesting, I suppose, that it's like downstream of the unfortunate economic climate of everything is risk averse, and that's down to whatever ideas you have to make sure the idea is concrete, and then make the idea in some way, and then show me the idea, and then maybe I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Is the kind of the thing here.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of
yeah. Unfortunate, sobering sort of thing, but AI is also inundating and not helping, I suppose, the discovery process as well.
Yep, that tracks. What also tracks is the Xbox. It's the Xbox quarter, baby. Well, maybe it's more like sad vuvuzelas. It's more like a or the Price is Right sound effect, like the boom, boom, because
No.
Microsoft fucked it up. Really, they fucked it up pretty much from possibly Xbox One generation, but the Reaper has caught up to not so much Microsoft, although I wish. It's caught up to the companies that they are going to slaughter on June 30th. I actually found out my own company did even more layoffs from somebody who's still working there. So it's the usual, it's the quarterly culling. But this one is real big. Uh, Asha Sharma, the current CEO, the Ellen Pao of Microsoft's Xbox gaming division, and if you know who that is, I'm so sorry about your lower back. Make sure to stretch. Take your ibuprofen.
Damn.
Old man or woman or non-binary entity. Um, yeah, a lot of people are about to lose their jobs. A lot of companies wholesale are about to be removed. Double Fine is the one that I'm worried about. We've already confirmed that Ninja Theory is gonna be either gone or sold off. I believe the same for Double Fine and Compulsion Games. I think it's just straight up getting shut down. I don't think there's any talk of a publisher selling. You may have heard that and been like, Ninja Theory. Didn't y'all talk about a new Hellblade game coming out in your last episode? We did. We
Sure
did.
did.
And then they announced it. What? At the end of after the week? Not even at the end of the week. I don't even think it was a full 7 days before we
No, it
found this
was
out.
not a full 7 days. I
Cool.
think probably.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. And I'm exhausted specifically because, as the article listed here states, um, the only reason this is happening is because these companies did what they were supposed to do as directed by Xbox and Microsoft as a whole, and now they're getting punished for it. Um, yeah, I'm tired. I don't know if you have anything to add here.
I I want to mention the list that I put up
Yes.
in the Discord there. Um, here are some notable so after Microsoft's acquisition spree of the ones that are not left here: Roundhouse gone, Tango gone, Compulsion probably gone, Double Fine probably gone. Um, what's it called? Toys for Bob spinned out. Were able to successfully
Read
escape, and
themselves.
were also in the Xbox
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah. Damn.
Funnily enough,
Yeah.
um, Xbox Game Studios probably done
Yeah.
because two heads just fucking left
Yeah.
in some capacity. Like it is Arcane. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um, to be honest with you, Alpha Dog done. Like I don't. We knew this was where it could go. Every every time we were talking about the Activision like buyouts, it was like this is just like the thing that could happen here could be catastrophic
Yeah.
if Microsoft decides something like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, to which Microsoft, of course, argued against to the UK and so on, right? Um, but we knew that this was the thing. We knew like what they tend to do. We already saw the breakdown with Embracer and what tends to happen here.
Yeah.
Just a brain drain of talent. If you lose, like the people who are Double Fine, this is THQ levels of
Catastrophic.
this like catastrophic.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I think what's interesting. Oh,
I
sorry. Go ahead.
no, go for it, go for it.
I was just gonna say, it's interesting because Jason Schreier, a noted bad game opinion but great game journalist, said specifically. one of the reasons Xbox studios have struggled to make great games over the past decade is this uncertainty. It's really hard to make great art when working under the fear of layoffs and turbulence and cancellations and shutdowns. Um, Interesting because the last good gaming CEO, possibly the only, Iwata, said pretty much the exact same thing when he cut his own salary when the Wii U was not doing so hot. He said specifically, if we reduce the number of employees for better short-term financial results, employee morale will decrease, and I sincerely doubt employees who fear that they may be laid off will be able to develop software titles that could impress people around the world. Which is it's such an obvious statement, but it feels like being in an oasis in the middle of a capitalist desert. You know what I mean? And this is a capitalist. He's a CEO. It's not like he doesn't want or didn't want, I should say, rest in peace to a real one. But still, a capitalist who definitely wanted, a hundred. We made $100 million. We need $100 million plus $1 next quarter type shit. But even he was like, well, we got to think about more than the next quarter. Mind blowing shit.
Yeah.
But that's probably why you never hear about Nintendo needing to close a fucking studio. The only time I can think of is when they closed Alpha Train, and then they just folded them in, so that doesn't even really count.
Yeah, they folded them in.
Yeah,
There, yeah.
yeah.
I I don't know what you like. I saw someone say something to the effect of like Microsoft, like Xbox is as opposed to Sony, Nintendo, and even Sony does not know how to run an entertainment company.
No. Dog,
Uh,
Microsoft doesn't even
um,
know how to run a fucking operating system, which is literally what Microsoft was created to do. Of course they don't know how to run an entertainment company. I'm literally doing this on a Microsoft computer, and I'm telling you, as we've been recording this podcast, me just looking at the links of the news that we are watching, or that we are reading about, has led to 3 different glitches. I will not read them off, but I'm struggling as we record. Of course they don't know how to run an entertainment company. They're trash. Trash. They're trash. Trash ass company. Don't get me started.
they kind of they're in a Microsoft is in a sort of too big to fail situation. But Xbox, unfortunately, I'll never know if it was completely Spencer's idea, but if it was, he put the Eye of Sauron on him the
Yeah.
moment that
That
Activision
purchase.
buyout happened.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I expect that if that buyout never happened, we would not be seeing such a drain.
Yeah, I also don't think we would be hurtling so quickly after the buyout if the AI dog shit tidal wave didn't show up right afterwards.
Didn't show up
Because now
either. Yeah.
Microsoft is creating a hell of its own making, where it's going all in on AI and then finding chips to be very expensive. So now they don't even know how expensive their own console is going to be in the future because of like the AI shit. So I think that's adding another. It's incredible. It's incredible. You like if I don't laugh, I'm gonna jump out of my own window. But yeah, I think if maybe they would have lasted another couple of years, I think they were doomed either way. But we kind of sped the timeline up with this decision.
Yeah, certainly an acceleration definitely happened there. And honestly, they still don't know what they're doing
No,
because reportedly,
because yes, please another good segue game on point today.
it's reported that it's a rumor that Gears of War E-Day costs $400 million
Yes, and Tom
to
Henderson
develop.
is a pretty reliable um, leaker or like reporter, I should say. So
And I don't know why you think Gears of War prequel. You didn't even finish the you didn't even finish the series. You had a cliffhanger
yeah,
on.
isn't there is a cliffhanger, right?
There's a giant cliffhanger at the end of the last Gears, and they're going back to E-Day instead. And they're going, yeah, it's a $400 million bet. I gotta be honest, I don't see Coalition existing either if they're betting $400 million here.
Yeah. Believe what Gears of War 2 was their best selling. Okay, yeah, it says it here. Best selling entry sold 6.75 million copies. To give you a comparison, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 cost $300 million to develop and needed to sell 7.2 million copies at full price to break even. This game is not going to make any money. I struggle to understand. So I should say, Momo was like a lot of it is different. So it's not. They couldn't just like wholesale import things. Maybe I'm just a luddite, but or maybe I'm just a little too otaku pilled. But I just look at Koei Tecmo, just slamming another game into the docket that I'm going to put 100 hours into every year and a half, because they just have they just have the assets for it. Yakuza has been using the same grapple animation since like 2005. What is going on? Why is there no pipeline to help reduce the cost of these things? And I understand part of it is, salary. A programmer in Japan is not making the same as a programmer in, what are they, in Canada, which is like sometimes more expensive than America. But that can't be the whole thing, because they definitely need, these that they deserve, like a proper salary, a proper wage, and everything. So, I also don't think it could be that big of the cost. There's something wrong here, and I think it's indicative of where Xbox is going in the future, which is
I mean,
to its grave.
Sony's Concord, that was 425 million.
What?
Right?
It
Was that not the number?
I don't remember that. Oh my fucking god!
What was the number? Hold on, let's live look. Concord. We had a thing about.
Did we talk about this?
Right,
Sorry.
Concord.
For
no,
readers...
we didn't talk about this.
Okay. I was gonna say, listeners, I have.
We didn't talk about this, but we heard what the number was on Concord. Concord cost Sony how much? What? So it was an estimated $200 to $400 million for Concord. Yeah. You forgot. I know you wrote. I did.
I did forget. I did forget. But it feels like getting slapped in the mouth again. I did forget. Oh my god! Hey, at least Gears of War will fucking come out. Some people will buy that. Oh my! What is?
Yeah.
It's just funny money at this point. It's not real.
I don't even want to know what God of War costs.
Yeah, God of War will make its money back though. They're probably a little more confident about that. Yeah.
But oh man, like this is not like they're done. They're done if this thing sells less than
it's like 8 million,
like most lifetime sales of like.
And don't forget, it's on Game Pass day one.
Oh my god, it's on Game Pass day one. Yeah. No. I think they're gonna go. They've been going back on a lot of that.
They'll have to announce it between now and the end of the year then.
Yeah, because no way. Not if it's on Game Pass. No way.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
more good news.
More studio closures.
Yeah.
More studio closures.
More good news.
If Don't Nod, titular Life is Strange creators, more recently Aphelion, I think, and oh god, what was the other one?
Tencent.
No, with the game they made. What was the other game?
Banishers.
Banishers, yeah. Ghost of Eden.
Sure. God of War at home ass game. Oh, wow.
I bought that. I'm gonna play it at some point. I
It
bought
wasn't
that. I'm
bad.
gonna play it.
It was pretty funny because I had a friend be like, "Why is the dark skinned girl in such a loving relationship with the white guy?" And I'm like, "I don't know, buddy. You tell me." Non people of color don't get to weigh in on this. I'm just saying it makes sense.
It makes sense. I'm
Like,
putting my hands up. I'm putting my hands up because I know some people. I'm
of
putting my
course,
hands
we
up.
all do, and those are the people who are asking why in the first place. Okay. Yeah.
um,
Tencent was they've been doing this a lot. Where they're just like,
yep.
I don't think so. Which I don't know how contractually they're able to just do that. I guess if they have all the money, they're just allowed to drop them at any moment. But that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually runs in a stream of like recent like Chinese based companies pulling out of international endeavors because um they are receding into themselves as
Yeah,
well
they were like, hang on
because
a second, we can make video games. We don't have to buy all of them.
so yeah, apparently here unfortunately the situation they frame the situation as quite dire. They had reported that they had approximately 8.8 million. I think it's euros, right? Euros. Um, as like cash on hand
Mm.
as of April 7th, and that was a couple months ago now. Um, and that's all they have for the rest of the year. Like
Yikes.
they are in danger of like closing down. They are trying to get like other sort of like partners. Sort of they're trying to work for hire. They're trying to have someone go. We'll just pay us
Yeah.
through this
Yeah.
and we'll we'll work.
It's time to make your
You know.
Transformers character action game donut. It's the only way.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what they're trying to do here. They have not secured anything concrete,
No.
unfortunately. They are in talks with apparently like big people in the industry, but like it looks really dire for Don't Not,
What's
unfortunately.
what's the company run by that billionaire's daughter? I think it's is it an Ellison? I don't know if it's an Ellison, but
Annapurna
yeah, they could.
or
I could see them doing the purchase.
yeah.
To be honest, they kind of fit
I,
into
I
that.
see it.
Yeah,
I
they
see
kind of
it.
fit into that
Yeah.
wheelhouse. But if it's not them, it's not going to be anybody else. I'm going to be honest. Um, I would. I don't. I
I'm
mean, I'm
trying to
sure they
think.
know that they're probably talking to him right now. But if you're not, go pick up your phone because I don't see anybody else like having the money to run a company that makes the games that Don't Not does, which is very
Yeah.
artsy and yeah sometimes janky.
The only thing I could think of other than Annapurna
Hmm.
is like this is a reach, but stylistically, because I'm thinking of Fire Sprite from
Yeah.
Sony, and I'm going, well, you could buy Don't Nod, and they could make like a story game.
Oh, that's
You like
true.
the over the third person shooter. You are like the over the third person story game, don't you,
Yeah.
Sony? You like that?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
This is
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of. This is the only big player who would have the cash flow to do that.
Yeah. I don't think they
Really.
ever made a follow-up game as successful as Life is Strange, which is pretty wild. Um,
Unfortunately, no.
yeah, I know the English.
They have a lot of niche oh, I liked that. Like Vampire,
Yeah, remember
you
Remember Me?
know. Yeah, remember when we made the joke
Did
about
we?
Remember Me?
Oh, okay. Well,
No, no, no. I mean, every time anyone brings up Remember Me,
I
it's
see.
always Remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did. We
Remember the
made the
joke
joke
we made?
yesterday, so not on the
You know.
podcast, but yeah.
Yeah. Remember Me? Well, I don't know. I think it was a neat concept. Not very good. Definitely a neat concept though.
Yeah,
Like it could have been iterative.
that's kind
Maybe
of
you could have improved on it.
that's kind of Don't Not in a nutshell. It's like interesting concept. Don't know if they did it very well. Yeah, that's Don't Not TN.
Yeah, but it's also like they don't like a boon and a bust at the same time. They don't like after Life is Strange. There's no iteration going on.
No,
They just move on
they
to the
just do
next
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect that in a way.
But what I think about that is that I think games like I think to like how sequels, some games don't reach their peak unless it's the second one.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
go, oh,
Of
okay,
course.
wait.
Yeah,
Like I think about that and like a
yeah.
Dead Space 2,
Sly Cooper to Sly Cooper
A
2.
Sly Cooper 2,
Yeah,
like
God of
yeah,
War
like
2.
some games just don't get there until the second one,
Yeah.
but don't not continues the trend of okay, move on to the next
I
thing, move
see.
on to the next
You
thing.
made it from a more detrimental perspective. That makes sense as
Yeah,
well.
I think it might be possibly detrimental to go okay, just move on. And I'm like, wait, what if you iterated here though? What if there's something here you can capitalize
Yeah,
on? Right?
yeah.
There's something to build here. But you know, it's their prerogative certainly. But you know, I feel like games are like sort of specially tuned to being iterative in this way because of the nature of the process
Yeah,
of making them. Right?
yeah.
Um, you know, but hopefully someone pays them to do something
Yep.
in the near future.
Good luck to them. And now we talk about my next favorite topic, Final Fantasy VII Revelations.
Yay!
So it's interesting because you said the director said two things. Um, One is that he says the end's been planned from the start. Now, I would hope so, because I don't know if you know this, but Final Fantasy VII already has an ending. And given the fact that they've completely chickened out of trying to do anything new with the narrative, then why are you telling me this? Are you trying to bait me into thinking that things have changed? Because fool me once, fool me twice, can't fool me again. Uh, it's not happening. So, cool, man. I don't fucking care. The other thing that he said, which is kind of funny, is that what was it? He said something about like, did you have to have more choices in like RPGs or whatever? Was that in this?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So something he says like this you have some remake director this is Naoki I believe he said that you have to have more player choice in RPGs to stop streaming people from just streaming the game instead of and just watching a streamer do it. This is this is a I don't need. There's not that much that needs to be said. This is a very dinosaur take. Someone who doesn't actually understand the analytics of how those types of videos do
Yeah.
on the platforms.
Yeah.
Not well. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's not well.
They're too
Like
long.
most people watching art, they're too long.
Yeah.
They're just simply too long.
Too long.
RPGs are very much too long. Most people are not tuning in for that.
Yeah.
You'll find that mostly it's story games like aforementioned Don't
Yeah.
Nod
Things that
who
are like
suffer the
8 hours
most
or
from that.
less.
Actually,
Yeah.
you don't have the excuse, Naoki.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's
To be
also really
quite
funny
frank.
to say, as the like director of one of the best feeling JRPGs in existence. I don't want to watch anybody play Final Fantasy VII
Hell no.
Revelations. I would rather, if I'm gonna play it, it'll be for the combat. And if I'm gonna do that, then I'd rather hold my controller and do it, and not have Maximilian dude shrieking in my ear. No disrespect to my king, but he has made a Final Fantasy VII video every single day since we recorded the last podcast episode. I'm feeling a little exhausted. That's all I'm saying.
And they're saying a lot. The FF7 re revelation people are saying a whole lot of shit. And honestly, they are blowing smoke up my fucking ass, man.
Yeah.
One, you planned the ending from the start. Yeah, bro, because you made the same game again with some changes.
Yeah, yeah, some changes that you didn't even fully commit to. Dumbass.
You know, and I think that this is obviously them saying we changed it for real this time, but it's a giant funnel. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a Yo, look, we look. It's there's a couple thing, a couple here, and
Yeah,
then we
I don't
end up
care.
back over here.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
care. I don't care. I
um,
don't care.
like okay, man, like you didn't change. You like this also comes. He said another thing. I didn't put it here, but he said like finds that fan feedback can make games like bland. Sure, I believe you, but also I don't believe you specifically. I mean you specifically because if you heard the fan feedback, you would hear that most people were confused by the end of that game,
Yeah,
by Rebirth.
yeah,
So I don't know what I don't believe you when you say it. I believe it as a broad statement, but you're blowing smoke up my ass
yeah,
personally.
yeah. I don't want to hear it from
Like
you.
no, I don't. I really don't.
Yeah,
They're saying a lot about FF7 that I'm just like I this is, and he said they already said it's gonna have as much mini games, if not even
yeah. They
more.
doubled down
He
on it.
said
They
about
really don't want me
Revelation.
to give them $70, which honestly, more power to you. I can keep that money, save it for a rainy day. But it's impressive how much they really don't want me to buy this video game from them. Which
It's
respect.
kind of incredible how high on this trilogy I was and how
The
tired I
crater is
am.
fall. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um.
You got Kingdom Hearts 2, buddy, or Kingdom Hearts 3, I should
Oh,
say.
three
Yeah,
rather.
you
Well,
got
I
Kingdom
was
Hearts
there for
3.
three. We've been there.
What a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Oh man, that's gonna be backloaded as fuck. Oh man, the ending of Rebirth sucked, man. Oh my god.
Yeah,
The fucking I don't care if I spoil it.
sure.
Fuck you. Go like if you didn't play it by now, you're not a freak who played those games. And if you did, and if you care that I'm about to spoil this, it's added on. It's whatever. When Air's in that fucking like, oh, I'm in the this live stream thing or whatever, that shit goes on so fucking long and it's so boring, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
god,
learned
that shit is so ass.
they learned every single bad lesson from the first game's ending, because that end game is on par, not maybe not on par anymore, but it was close in my opinion to Kingdom Hearts 2's end game, which is the ultimate, the greatest fade of all time, the greatest fade runner of all time, like the just 1 hour of hand throwing of the ultimate caliber, and this game, and Rebirth was, or sorry, Remake was close to being as good. Um, Rebirth does not do that. It's like an hour long. There's 13 phases. It's completely ambiguous. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Ember Island scene from The Last Airbender, where they're talking about Jet, and then Jet dies in the play, and Toph is
Mm.
like, "Wait a second, Jet died?" And Sokka's like, it was really unclear because they couldn't like confirm that he died in the kids' TV show on Nickelodeon. That's what Rebirth's ending feels like to me. Is like watching an Ember
Yeah.
Island version of the original Final Fantasy VII.
Gods. Yeah, that shit is so funny. Genova and that thing, like, I don't. They're so, and the stuff they try to do with like switching in between, like, it's like there was so much like fluff leading up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Is my problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much fluff leading up to the okay, and now we're switching between Sephiroth and the Genova fight, and that's cool or whatever. And it's like, but like the what it took for me to get there was so cumbersome
Yeah.
that I was like, okay, we're doing, and then like that's aside from me going, okay, I have to do the combat well,
Yeah.
like that's aside from me doing that sort of being in that exercise. I think it's so much so bloated. Like this is not focused. It's just not focused.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. There's a bit where Zack at the end of the game yells uh, poorly with his very bad English voice actor, goes, "What the hell is going on?" And that sums it up pretty well, I
I
think.
feel that.
Yeah,
I feel
Yeah, I
that.
feel you. I feel you. This feeling is a
I feel
feeling
you
I feel
deeply.
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 Let's keep going because otherwise we're not going to shut the fuck up about Reaper. We're good. That's going to be like a 7 hour podcast. It's not going to be good.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah, it's going to be bad.
Oh God.
Um, we had a direct, Nintendo
We
Direct right after
did.
the podcast. It was better than all the other showcases, in my opinion. Um, it had a lot of stuff that I care about, but I'll save my highlights if you want to talk about. There's a lot that I don't particularly care about, but the stuff that was good is good. So go ahead and I'll fill in the blanks.
Uh, yeah, like what something notable here is that this was where Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen was announced,
I
not where I would have
I
expected.
was not. Yep. I was like, wait, why does it have Dark Arisen as it? It genuinely took me a second to catch up because I was like, why does that?
I
I
was
don't remember a subtitle for Dragon's
I
Dogma
saw I
2.
yeah, I was like, where's this fucking snow? I was like, what the fuck is this snow? What's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. Pretty wild.
Pretty fucking wild. Not what I expected, but maybe I I bought Dark Arisen also on Switch as well.
Mhm.
I wonder if that sold really well
It did.
on the Switch.
It did. It did. If I
Okay.
recall correctly, it did. Because it's a game that is very unique on as part of the Switch's library. So if you're looking for like a just a meaty RPG, it kind of fit that mold quite well. So
Yeah.
pretty successful. Also, I think it's just
Okay.
Capcom. I mean, Capcom. Well, I think I've talked about this before, but Capcom and Nintendo are like this. Can't see me, listener, but I got my fingers crossed. They're very close. They're always like the first company to get dev kits from Nintendo. They specifically went to Nintendo and was like, "Don't fuck up the net code on the Switch 2 this time. We'll show you how." Obviously, the Monster Hunter exclusivity and so on. So yeah,
Absolutely. One of note, it's just funny. One Piece Grand Gourmet. I don't have really a stake in One Piece, but I think it's very funny to to make this. Um, it's a cook serve delicious type beat. To be
yeah.
honest,
I can
here you
respect when
go.
you do that with an IP. Although that team is the one that does, I think it's Kairosoft, no relation.
Yeah,
Um,
Kairosoft. Yeah.
and their stuff is usually very shallow. I can't. They're gonna really have to convince me for like a full price console slash PC game. So we'll see how that
I
goes.
see.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
In the same vein, Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivation was also
Yeah.
announced here. This is this is a Vampire Survivors.
Yes.
Now I know what you're thinking. Is it an expansion to Vampire Survivors?
No.
No, it's a standalone game.
Yes. To give some context, Ponkel, is it Ponkel? Ponsel? I don't know how you describe it.
Yeah, I
The
think it's
Vampire
Ponko.
Survivors devs, or dev, I should say, the lead dev, has basically just been like, yeah, I'm licensing out the engine, and then people can just make Vampire Survivors with their own IP, presumably because they've been getting a Fortnite level of requests to get their IP into Vampire Survivors, and bro was probably like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Just pay me a lump sum. You can make your own. I'm trying to get more Saga characters in here. Leave me alone. And so yeah, I was. I mean, I think it's cool to how they have like the you get to put in a new rule sort of thing, which is like
Yeah.
directly from the manga slash anime. Um, I don't care. I won't purchase it. I'm not that hot on Jujutsu Kaisen anymore. But you know, it's hard to fuck up the Vampire Survivors gameplay loop. So
Yeah, and the domain expansion works pretty
very
well
well.
with what will happen there,
Yeah,
right? As the rounds go on.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Vampire Survivors person, so this isn't for me either,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Hmm.
But hey, it looks pretty quality for what it is
Yeah,
there
yeah,
as well.
yeah. Anything else?
Also, we have Devil May Cry for the Nintendo Switch too.
Oh,
This is the Devil Hunter edition, I believe,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Is what
yeah,
it
yeah. The
said.
one that lets you have Virgil. Mhm.
Yeah. Good for them. This is pretty indicative that there's something happening, I'm sure, there, if they bothered at this point.
I would hope so.
They sell pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably something cooking there, considering all the statements adding up here.
Mm. Are those your big ones?
Big Walk is here too. I'm actually, this is the one that I am.
I
I
can't
don't do
wait.
front slap prox chat games very often.
Yeah, this one looks a
This
bit more
one is the
substantial.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one looks substantial. This one looks very measured, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's more. It's one of the more like sort of I would say.
Deliberate.
Not to say that Peak and its like are not full fledged efforts, but this one is. They've been working on it a while.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I would guess that Aggro Crab would fully admit because Peak was a game jam, like an internal game jam that was built off
yeah,
of um, the sort of burnout and depression from the development of what is it? What was it called? The sequel to their roguelike. Um,
going under two
yeah,
parts
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. And they were like, let's do something fresh, and then they accidentally made like one of the best selling games last year, two
Yeah,
years ago. So
yeah. So I'm excited for this. I think it's interesting to see what that this is the second game after Untitled Goose Game.
yeah,
This has been in incubation a long time.
yeah,
So that definitely something was in the water because this has been in development a while.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I can go through mine then. Let's
Go
see.
for it.
Ocarina of Time remake. We knew it was coming, so the surprise wasn't really there. The real surprise was that we didn't see much. We still
Nope.
don't know if it's going to be a full um, remake or like a Final Fantasy VII type rebirth. All we know is that the new Link looks, in my opinion, ugly as fuck. They're gonna have to convince
Looked
me. Why did they give
ugly.
him that big ass head? What were they thinking? But it's Ocarina of Time. It literally is the reason we're even here talking. Completely shaped who I am as a person. There's no world where I'm going to be anything but completely subjective about this game. So I won't even bore anybody with my glazing. Um, Kingdom Hearts 4 jump scare. I promised if I hit a financial donation goal for a charity event that I was running, that I would do the
Mhm.
same. I would play Kingdom Hearts 4 when it came out. Since then, I've run that same charity event multiple times, and the game still hasn't come out. But I will keep my promise. It was pretty funny to see this at a direct. I'm still not convinced. Sora looks ugly as fuck. I'm certainly not playing it on the Switch too. It was struggling. It was very funny to
Yeah,
see the
it
trailer.
looked like it was
Yeah, the
chugging.
trailer
It
for
looked
this
like it
game
was
on Square
chugging.
Enix's channel was not the Switch version. It was not. That was definitely running on a PC. I also it just looks so
Sterile.
yeah, limp wristed. They like there's no the sauce isn't there, and it's because that team is working on the Final Fantasy VII remakes. A lot of like the same combat designers and stuff, but it's just so like Sora does a hit, and it's just like eh. There's no hit stun. There's no like there's just nothing. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's still probably not going to be out for another 3 years, so maybe they'll fix that. We'll see.
Mm,
Um, Splatoon Raiders looks good. I
it
am
sure
I
does. Sure
appreciate
does.
a PVE focused full Splatoon game because that's pretty much I only ever come back to this game or to those games when the expansions come out. Um, Dragon Quest Monsters Withered World had me yelling and pumping my arms.
Oh,
I'm hype as fuck. I cannot wait. They did bring back the mean girl. I assume she's going to be like the rival. And I was not expecting the game to come out so soon. I really hope it learns from the Dark Prince's mistakes, of which it made many. But even if it does, even if it doesn't learn anything, I'm still gonna put like 1,000 hours into this game. I'm such a Dragon Quest Monsters freak, to the point where I would argue
Uh,
it's they're better than the mainline games, in my opinion. I know that's
oh
probably
wow.
going to be a controversial opinion amongst people, but the one thing that's funny, I don't know if you know. So this is like I mentioned, it stars the girls from Dragon Quest Five, and it seems to be what was happening in the 7 year gap. And it's just funny to think that they were all out having their cute little monster adventures while the Dragon Quest hero was enslaved by monsters and then forced to like build a temple to the master of the monster that specifically murdered his father. Quite a difference. I'd be pretty pissed off if I was him, but you know. Final
Well,
Fantasy.
that's
Oh,
bad for you. Wouldn't happen to me
wouldn't
though.
happen to
Type
me
beat.
though.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. This isn't about him. Yeah. Final Fantasy
uh,
Resonance. I'm really appreciating Square Enix's push to get all of their gotcha trash and turn them into real games. I don't care about Octopath Traveler Zero, but I'm still glad it exists. I care about Final
mhm.
Fantasy Resonance more. Brave Exodus is a game that I played specifically because it was a game that you played in portrait mode. You know, the way God intended a phone to be held. So, you know, I spent more time playing that one. It was still gotcha trash, but this looks significantly better than that ever was. So that's cool. Oh yeah, Xenoblade. We're getting a new Xenoblade. Um,
Yeah, we
we didn't
are.
really see much. I don't even think we saw combat, but I'm ready. You know,
No,
I'll be
we
there.
saw them walking around
Yeah,
and
yeah,
running on, got on the horse and the bits there
yeah.
and the open fields, but
It's pretty funny.
not much other than that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Not much other than that, except it was pretty funny because people were like, "Ugh, not a school academy setting." And then you gotta like wait until the end of the trailer. They're literally like they pan out to like a fucking Mobius strip or
it's like a
something.
side seven, like in Gundam.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I believe it's in the
Yeah,
shape of like a planetary generator or something. Point is, you know, it's Takahashi. He's gonna do some crazy shit.
he's
Uh,
gonna do some crazy fucking shit.
yeah,
There's something here you can't. If you've played these games, you can't just
take them
believe
at face
immediately.
value.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like
absolutely
come
not.
on.
No. So again, not much to say there because I'll be there. That's pretty much it. Fuck Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I will not be there.
I might be there. Depends on how long it takes me to beat Engage,
So not done.
which I am progressing through Engage, and yeah, that combat's good.
That's all I'm
It's got it.
saying.
It's got
Yeah,
it.
speaking of
It's
ashy
got it.
looking dark skinned characters, God.
Yeah, yeah, the greatest,
We live in
bro.
a world where Discaris from Itchy the Witch exists. You need to do better. Do better. Um,
Do better.
but yeah, that's all I got. Uh,
I would say the Dust Bloods was here, if
okay.
only a sliver,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Here the
They
same
just
way my
announced it
dad
up
is here.
close. Oh shit! Wait! Literally though, literally, hold on. The same way the Dust Bloods guy like zooms across the screen with the with whatever those
Yep.
that fucking
There
jetpack
he
or
goes. There he
whatever.
goes. He's getting the cigarettes.
There he goes. Daddy Dust Blood is just gonna go out to get some milk. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
no.
okay.
No.
Yeah, but they have a closed network test this summer, so I guess well, I'm not getting into that. Every time I see closed blank,
It's
I'm
not
like, I'm
happening.
not
Yeah,
getting in.
same. I never get into those.
So I look forward to someone, telling me about it. I guess.
Yeah.
I also put here that I think the they showed Star Fox here again for some reason. I don't know why.
Uh huh.
Um, it's just the same gameplay thing they showed before.
Mhm.
Well, I guess the extended bit they showed, if you bothered to watch it, I suppose it's just here again. Um, Still a perplexing decision. Whatever. The thing I was really happy about was Nintendo Switch Sports Resort is here. That shit is lit. I'm
Mm,
trying to fucking sword fight or whatever.
okay.
Hell yeah.
All
Or
right.
baton fight or whatever. That shit is lit as hell.
Okay.
Yeah. And like that stuff is cool. I really enjoyed Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah.
The weird balancing thing from Resort, if you remember that one,
Yeah. I just don't like the way
as
those
well.
freaks look. I wish they just stuck with me personally. Maybe that's just me being a boomer, but
I like the Mii's better, but you apparently like. I was told that they're hiding a bunch of the crazier customization options you can do for them.
oh, okay. Maybe they've.
They just make them look very generic, but you can like fuck them up in all sorts of ways.
Okay. All right. I could. I'll at least wait to see that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about the Nintendo Direct. It was pretty all. I think it was pretty all right.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it
pretty
was pretty
strong.
all right.
At least it appealed to my taste specifically, and who would I care about more than my own taste?
But yeah, that's about the thick of it. We got it there. Unfortunately, I Xbox seemingly just soured what is E3 week in all but name. Really, they couldn't help themselves. Quite honestly, they're always finding a way to do it. Hopefully, Double Fine can buy itself.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know if I have a lot of faith in that, considering Tim Schafer's tenure
Yep.
when they were independent.
Yep.
But hopefully they can. Um, Hopefully a lot of people find their thumbs on their feet or negotiate correctly here. I don't even know who are they negotiating with? Matt Booty, Sharma herself. Like I don't know,
We'll see.
but yeah. Any last thoughts there?
For the direct, no, no, it was good. I think we have two more things real quick to check out though, right?
Yeah.
The first is that Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen is not going to have any of the DLC um, that was in the
Nope.
original version. These are things like Rift crystals and Port crystals and a character editor and a Gal key. Things that you don't need. And I think I did not put this here, but it's funny to me because um, it, it's very clear that the DLC in these games is just a sort of malicious compliance thing from Capcom. Like the developers who are being told by the company, like you got to get some DLC in there. That's what you do with video games. You put a DLC, and you can tell that Capcom really does not give a shit. A shockingly little amount outside of I guess Street Fighter Five, but it's a similar thing. I mean, Street Fighter Six, but Street Fighter Six is weird, so I don't know. But yeah, that's why they make the DLC that shit nobody cares about, and then they can just remove it later. So
Yeah, this is interesting because the Capcom is very like Nickel and like does this a lot. DMC5 had it.
yeah,
Monster Hunter has it in fucking spades.
yeah,
Um, and like this is kind of the thing they keep doing, and it's interesting that they think they need goodwill on this game,
yeah. That's
and they're
true.
like, okay, we're removing all that shit.
Yeah,
We know you hate it.
yeah, yeah,
We know it was a problem when it came
yeah.
out
They're
because
bringing
there was a whole hullabaloo about it
yeah
when Dragon's Dogma 2 had come out as
they're
well.
bringing the Infinite Quartz crystal back. Mark my words. They're bringing that shit back for sure.
Who could say?
Yeah,
Who could
we'll
say?
see.
But like yeah, like this is a goodwill play. I think they're like, okay, we're removing, which tells me they have the power to do this for the other ones too. But they want the money.
They want
They want the money badly.
yeah, and they want darker. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
They could just remove. They could just put all that shit from all that nickel and diming they do in Monster Hunter. They could just put that in the fucking game, and it wouldn't make that much of a difference on the balance sheet.
No.
But so on high, I'm assuming
Yep.
is going, hey,
Yep.
put it in,
Yeah.
put it in.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. And then lastly, this is very recent news. Today news, actually.
very.
Epic outlined a generative AI focused Unreal Engine 6. And now Vampire Survivors, the studio, says that they're reviewing their Fortnite collaboration, which is, I mean, I don't have anything to say. I just think that's really fucking funny.
That's super funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. They put the reviewing in quotes themselves on their own Reddit because they announced it today, the partnership at the reveal of Unreal Engine 6 and the generative AI stuff. Um, so that's very funny that the same day they were like, yeah, we didn't know about that shit. We're probably not going to go through with this anymore. And then they just locked the thread. So I really don't think they're doing it, which is pretty funny.
That which is it's interesting to me that he actually that they had that power too. They were like, and we reserve the right to pull that if you
Yeah.
if we think
We
anything
just,
else.
I
Honestly,
mean, if
it wasn't
anybody can
binding.
get
It
away with
seems.
that, it's definitely Vampire Survivors, right? They're big dicking it all over the place. Dog, they put a Saga collaboration in there and paid for it out of their own pocket to make it a free update just because this guy is a Saga sicko. They can do whatever they want. Like they can literally do whatever they want. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 6. There, I don't think there's time, but wow, the stuff reading on the stuff from that is oof.
Yeah, there'll probably be more
I'm
to
not
discuss
sure.
about it next week. Honestly, we're probably gonna hear more.
There'll be more. Yeah, there'll be even more. Yeah, true enough. But oof, that is.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, sobering for the development scene, I'd say.
yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts there on anything else?
Um, I'm tired. I close my
Maybe the
eyes.
Knicks.
I close my eyes, and I'm just like I feel more rested, which is not a good sign because it means that I'd rather just have my eyes closed all the time. Which there's only one way for that to happen, and it's
Well,
not
yeah.
it's not eating the apple. I'll say that much. Um,
No.
but yeah, no, I'm tired. I would like a week of good video game news one of these days.
That'd
Doesn't
be
doesn't
nice.
seem to be happening anytime soon, but that's all right. Shout outs to the Knicks. I don't even really care about them as a team. I just like seeing an underdog win, and for the French to lose. Um, so that's cool. I'm probably gonna play more Warframe as soon as we end this podcast, but we'll see.
I'm probably going to play a lot of Steam demos again.
Oh yeah, another
Um,
Next Fest. Feels like they happen every month. It's very funny.
so apparently I figured out the reason that it might be that they did it so soon again, even though it feels like it was like 3 4 months ago. It's probably because of the E3 season. What
Ah,
happens is seemingly because a lot of the games I'm seeing are a lot of the games I saw in the showcases last week.
yeah, that makes
Um,
sense. That makes sense.
so it seems like they're timing the next fest here so that you play the games that you just saw at all this
That
stuff.
makes sense.
So once again in all but name, it's E3 season,
Yep,
or week as it
it's
were. Um,
Joff's E3.
but yeah, that a lot of what I'm seeing is a bunch of stuff I saw from the showcases there. Mortal Shell 2 is there. I'm like, oh, you came out with another one. That thing was really dog shit. And I beat that game. That thing was dog shit. And I'm seeing positive reviews on it. I'm like, really? Are you for real? You came back from that? And I gotta know, to
Yeah.
be
I look
honest.
forward to
I
hearing.
gotta know.
I look forward to hearing about
Um,
that.
so yeah, I'm gonna be playing a lot of demos again. I'm finding less I like in this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um, so it probably won't be as long. But a lot of AI. In fact, I have a number on how. I think I have a like a loose number on how much AI. I think it's like of the thousands of games, it's like 1,600 or
Oh
AI
my god.
disclosure.
Oh, we're in
Yeah.
hell. Cool. But I mean, we're in hell. But I will say, Laws just posted some Hoagie Fest artwork. Shout out Wawa, and I mean shout out Laws, but also shout out Wawa.
Shout outs to
Shout
Wawa.
out,
Is
shout
that
out
what
Wawa.
you?
I've never eaten there in my life, but y'all love that shit, so do I. If you like it, I love it.
I guess. Hey, I like Wawa. That's true. I like Wawa. I like eating at
All
Wawa. That's
right,
true.
shout out
That's true.
Wawa. This is not sponsored, but maybe next
This is
week.
not sponsored, but if Wawa, I guess, wants to sponsor us, I
We'll
guess
shoot this over, and they can send me a
we'll shoot it
sandwich.
over.
Alrighty. Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Yeah, be free, everyone. Get a
Be
sandwich.
free.
Get a sandwich.